it going? We got Mr. Curtis in chat. Good evening, my friend. I saw you pop in my test a couple seconds ago. Thank you for popping in. And good evening, Troy. Here's Johnny. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to week 2 of NFL Talk here on the Basement Show with Mr. Knast. As you can tell, it is Mr. Knast tonight. I am wearing old school Eagles jersey tonight. I am surprised I fit into this. But yes, I am here. We are live. So we will actually have a guest tonight. Not right away, in a little bit. Once we get into the fantasy football aspect of things, Mr. Sam Simmons will be joining the studio. He wanted to come in and cover the fantasy aspect of it. So I will send him an invite as we get going, and he can jump in. Gary! How you doing, sir? Nice to see you. Thanks for popping in tonight. So, before we get started, as always, if you're in chat, lingering on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, please drop the team you represent. Everybody is welcome here, whether you're a Cowboys fan, Giants fan, Commanders fan, you name it. Please list your team, who you root for. And before we get started, I have a question for everybody to answer. So please interact with the chat. Let me know what team you're rooting for this year or root for most of your life. I mean, everybody knows I agreed. We got Mr. Troy with the Commanders. So there's one. I mean, hey, Troy, your team's 1-1. That's right. You got the same record as the Eagles right now. You gotta like seeing that. So who else we got? I think Curtis said he was pulling for the Chicago Bears this year. I know Gary's a big diehard Eagles fan like me. But it says we have 2 people on YouTube. YouTube, wake up. Let me know you're here. There's Gary with his Eagles. Yes, indeed. And I think I am the 3rd person on Facebook, so I will throw a curveball at everybody. Yes, I bleed green, but let's see. I love the all NFL team. I mean, I represent all 32 teams. With this show, we represent all 32 teams. We'd like to talk about all 32 teams as a whole, because after all, it is the National Football League, and we're here to talk the NFL. Not just one team, not 2 teams, but all 32 teams. So if you're just joining in, this is your first time stopping into the show, Miss Heather, she says, hey, Mr. J, just wanted to pop in and say hi. Well, hello, my dear. I hope you're feeling better. Thank you, Heather, for dropping in tonight. It is always wonderful to see you in chat. I am hyper tonight. I have off the next 2 days from work. Plus, like I said, last week was the premiere episode of NFL Talk, and everybody who knows me knows I am a diehard football fan. So this is in my wheelhouse, as you call it. Rolling, keep on rolling. Johnny, your show is already better than the Eagles pass rush. Miz, I couldn't agree more. Speaking of the Eagles pass rush, have you, as anyone who watched Eagles game this season, has anyone seen Bryce Huff? Anyone? I mean, if you ask me, the man owes me some money. He owes the season ticket holder some money. So I don't know if everyone agrees with me. If those who don't know too much about the Eagles traded probably the best pass rusher away in Hassan Reddick, who is still fighting for a new contract, which he deserves, to the New York Jets. And in return, you might as well say we got a pass rusher who was 25, 26 years old, and they gave him $17 million. And this man can't even hit the damn quarterback once in 2 games. Exactly, Miz. Who? He was 0 for a reason. 0 sacks. Not even just sacks. 0 pressures. He's been non-existent. They even called him out on ESPN the other night, like saying, hey, this Bryce Huff, he's yet to get to the quarterback. I mean, no one's gotten to the quarterback. I mean, Milton Williams had a sack the other night. Sure, dandy, wonderful, terrific. But, BG had won the first game. But, where's everybody else? Where's the rest of the team? Like, we're supposed to have one of the most dominant front fours in football, and they're nowhere. They're ghosts. Anyone see them? Anyone? Bueller? Harris? Bueller? It's a joke. But we won't brag about that all too much. We will save that discussion for the Eagles game because, like I said, this is all NFL. And to your guys' pleasure, I mean, I did it again. I'm sorry. We have that 30 slideshow on week 2, but come on. President should have built. Yeah, I mean, he can't move. That's the problem. He's coming off an Achilles injury. The man's a walking statue right now. I probably could move faster in that pocket. I'm almost 190 something pounds and 5'5". I could get by that Eagles pass rush right now. I mean, that's what I was a JV quarterback. That's besides the point. Actually, it's funny because the year I was JV quarterback, I won number 5. Then I won number 5. I actually won at number 13, but somebody else had it. My Eagles reign is over. Troy, you probably could too. Yes, that is true. It's as a hometown fan watching the way that game ended Monday night was sickening. Okay, I had reminiscence of I think one of the last times they were on Monday Night Football when they played the Seattle Seahawks, and they just let them march right down the field. And I'm going to take a zinger right off the bat, so please forgive me, Sam. If you're in chat, I'm sorry, Sam, but if your defense gave up 44 against New Orleans is going to put up 60 on Philly, hands down. Everybody knows it. But again, we'll save all that chit chat for later. And like I said, we have the full 16-game slate to cover. So if you didn't watch the games all weekend, we have you covered. If you did watch the games and have something that you would like to say about a certain game when it's up on the screen, please do. Instead of just hearing me rant and rave and stuff like that. Because I do have a couple interesting tidbits tonight. Tidbits. That's a funny word. But anyway, hope everyone had a great Wednesday. I'm already feeling it in my throat from getting so excited because, but we'll get through this. Just think, Baltimore could put up 50 over Dallas. That's debatable. Depends on what Baltimore team shows up. Because after all, Baltimore just choked away a fourth quarter lead to the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, I said it. He's probably not in chat yet. If you are Rodney, I apologize. One of our fantasy teams is Raider Nation. He is a big Las Vegas Raiders fan. Kudos to his team. They did go down to Baltimore, come back, pull off what they're calling an upset. I don't think it's an upset. These players are paid professionals for a reason. Now, if the Carolina Panthers were going to go in and beat somebody, now that's an upset. Sorry, not sorry. But we do have some little news on the Carolina Panthers to pass along as the show gets going. So, yes, that is that. But who's ready to start this breakdown of week 2? I know if my friend Vinny's watching on YouTube, he's begging me not to bring up the San Francisco game again because fantasy owners were pissed off again last week because now Christian McCaffrey is on IR. And he was the consensus number 1 pick in all the league. Raiders play them this weekend. Who do the Raiders play, Troy? Who, Dallas? I think that's what he's trying to hit at. I'll let him see what he wants to say. Let me upper show so I can. Carolina. Oh, okay. I mean, Las Vegas should win that game because Carolina, I'll just say it now, Carolina benched Bencheded Bryce Young. We all knew it was coming. We've all known Bryce Young was off to a horrible start in his career. The question is, can he resurrect it now that he is going to be learning behind Andy Dalton? That is the big question mark. I mean, I know we were talking about it. They called Newton today? Oh, shit. They're really over Bryce Young at this point, then. If they're calling Cam Newton, oh boy. Bryce, it's been real. It's been fun, but not real fun. I think you just got yourself run out of town, buddy. That's scary. If they're resorting to call Cam Newton, oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. It's kind of alarming. Considering what they gave to move up in that draft last year to get him. You give up the ninth overall pick, plus what, 2 or 3 future first round picks, and a third to draft this kid as your franchise quarterback. And right now, he's being run to the bench for 1, but for 2, you don't even know if he's going to be on your team next year. I mean, I'm sure he will because the rookie contracts are a hell of a lot of money, but after that, like when his 4th year option's up, A, I don't think they renew it, and then B, like I had asked earlier in the group, in our group chat this week, man, it's like, where does he wind up? Does a team take a chance on him? Does he become the next Carson Wentz and a backup for the rest of his career? I mean, when you're the 1st overall pick, you're not supposed to be riding the bench this early in your career unless you're hurt. Which all the Chicago Bear fans better hold their breath because Caleb Williams has been getting his ass kicked the first 2 weeks. Like Sunday night's game versus Houston, he was sacked 7 times and hit 12. That doesn't even count for the times he ran the ball and was tackled. That's just in the pocket being hit that much. I mean, these kids need to learn how to protect themselves. Because the first game we're going to talk about, we all know what happened with that game. So, again, like I said, I have my trusty dandy slideshow ready. The NFL season week 2. I mean, I love the fact that football is back. Like I said, having this show now on Wednesday nights is perfect because you can fill in all the weeks before. Then you have basically one night before the start of the next week, even though come Christmas, there are 2 games on Christmas night this year, which is a Wednesday. So we will have to adjust our schedule a little bit as that gets closer to cover those games. But I'm going to save that rant for as it gets closer because there's something I found out about those 2 games on Christmas that I'm not too happy about. But we'll save that for another night. So if you're on the Facebook, or if you're on YouTube, you're on Twitch, welcome in. Like I said, this show is all about the NFL. We might have a guest chatter tonight also. I know he is currently at a baseball game, hopefully bringing our hometown Phillies some luck. I know he likes the football as well. If he wasn't at that game, he'd be in the show to give me shit. So, enough with that. But don't be shy if you're just popping in. Like I said, say hello. Let me know you're here. This is a friendly environment where we like to entertain all of you, our fans. So I'm just going to share this out real quick on my end again. And we can get this ball off and rolling. How about that? So I will keep this open. Alright, so the first game on the list was last Thursday night. Because like they always say, there's football now so many nights a week you lose track of it. And the first game was the Buffalo Bills traveling to Miami. Now, me personally, I thought this game had the potential to be a good divisional fight, back and forth. Basically, to set the course for the rest of the season. I mean, whoever won this could become in the driver's seat to win the AFC East as a whole. I mean, yeah, sure, it's only 2, yeah, sure. But I think this division still comes down to these 2 teams. I'm not buying into the Patriots yet. I think they're a very young, inexperienced team with the first-year head coach in Jared Mayo. And I'm not a fan of Aaron Rodgers. I think he needs to just hang it up, call it a career. So I thought the division would come down to these two teams, but unfortunately, as everyone can see, there is an asterisk next to Tua. We will dive into that in a little bit, but Miami's playoff glimpse, might have just taken a little bit of a hit after this game. We shall see. But again, if my friend Joe was in chat, the Josh Allen fan club, as we like to call him, not so much, but we all know Mr. Joe is a big Josh Allen supporter. Miz can tell you firsthand. But from what I saw this game, it was all Buffalo. I mean, once you take Tua out of the equation, Miami had no match. And it's a shame. But Josh Allen was 13-19 for 139, one touchdown. James Cook, a good fantasy night. If you have James Cook in your fantasy league this past week, you were happy about this. 11 carries for 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 1 catch out of the backfield for 17 yards and a touchdown. So right there, you're looking at 7.8, 19.8, 1.7, so that's about 27 points. That's a great night for a fantasy running back. But there was one better this week, and we will dive into that in a little bit. Shakir, 5 receptions for 54 yards. Ty Johnson, 1 reception for 33 yards. Dalton Kincaid, who I feel has been a very big disappointment so far this year, taking over for Dawson Knox, 4 receptions, 33 yards. Damar Hamlin, nice to see this kid actually getting some playing time. 10 tackles, 8 solo tackles by the inspector. 10 tackles, 7 solo. And Ed Oliver, he is the former first-round pick out of the University of Houston. 3 tackles, and he had 1 sack. And Jamarcus Ingram had a pick 6 in this game, which I would say blew the game wide open at that point. So that is a shame. And then over on the other side, Tua Tagovailoa, I don't know how to say it. We'll just call him Tua. He was 17-25, 145, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, 2 rushes for 17 yards. And unfortunately, again, knowing his history with concussions, A, I don't know why he's trying to scramble, and B, you got to learn how to slide. So everyone was blaming Damar Hamlin for Tua getting hurt. Other way around. It was Tua not sliding and leading with his head and hitting. I'm going to see if I can set up and show you. Hitting somebody right here. This is the hardest part of the shoulder pad is your chest plate. And Tua, unfortunately, smacked his head on it pretty damn good and automatically knocked himself out. It is a shame. Now, am I buying the thing he shouldn't play football ever again? Not really. But is it something that they might have to look at? Sure. I mean, because I think I read, 8 concussions now? I mean, that's scary. At some point, you got to sit back and say, is this even really worth it anymore? Because now you're taking that chance of permanently hurting yourself, and there is life after football. We all know this. And the scary part is a lot of these players nowadays, they're showing signs of the CTE, and it's scary. I mean, look at some of the past greats that have recently passed away, and look how many of them had CTE. I mean, it's tragic. That's all I can really say. It's honestly tragic. It's devastating to see the athletes going through this. The guardian caps, the protocols they do nowadays, it just doesn't seem to be enough. Now, is there more they can do? More than likely, yes. But at the end of the day, also, these players got to wise up. Like a player like Tua, you know you have concussion history. Why are you leading with your head? Slide. Give yourself up. Then a player can't touch you. So, I mean, sorry, not sorry, but it's the truth. Tua got himself hurt Thursday night by leading with his head. If he slides, chances are he finishes that game. So, again, sorry, not sorry. Devin Archain, who is questionable going into this game with an ankle injury, had 22 carries for 96 yards, 7 receptions, 69 yards, and 1 touchdown. Good fantasy night for him. I will say that. I had him in my fantasy lineup. But again, we'll talk fantasy later. John U. Smith, their tight end, 6 receptions for 53 yards. Jalen Waddle, one of their speedy outside wide receivers, 4 receptions for 41 yards. Tyreek Hill, held in check. Bravo to Buffalo for doing this. Only 3 receptions for 24 yards. For the Cheetah, that is a very low night. We all know that. We all know what Tyreek Hill is capable of. And then David Long Jr. led the team with 11 tackles, 9 solo. And Jordan Brooks, 6 tackles and 4 solo. Nothing to write home about on that one. But it's a shame to see what happened with Tua. But now Buffalo has a 2-0 division. And they have a head-to-head matchup over Miami. So, can they keep it going all year? Buffalo goes as far as Josh Allen takes them. We all know that. All right, now moving on to Sunday night, because you didn't have a Friday night game this week. That was a opening week special, the Sao Paulo Brazil game, the Packers and Eagles. So now you just have Thursday, Sunday, and Monday for the time being, until we get closer to the end of the year when you start getting like Saturday games. There's a Black Friday game, Christmas Day games, the whole kit and caboodle. All right, and the choice still in chat. Here is your box score for the Las Vegas Raiders, surprising everybody. Mr. Simmons, nice to see you. Thanks for popping in tonight. Looking forward to having a little discussion with you later, sir. So, I mean, we all know what Team Sam roots for, but he is like me. He's emphatic about the whole NFL. I am here still. Okay, I'm just checking, Troy. You're good. But here's what people were calling the upset of the weekend. I hate that word, upset. Because you're paid professionals. It's not like you're a college team. You're paid, you're a professional. It's not an upset. Sorry. But it's nice to see different teams win. I will say that. And you have this right here. Yes, sir. Can't wait. I Captain. But I'm actually happy that the Raiders pulled this game out. I like Uncle Rico. Gordon Minshew was 30 of 38 for 276, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Zamir White, who everyone had high aspirations for going into the season. Mama D's are looking. We have a Mama D sighting. She's alive. Zamir White, 9 carries for 24 yards. Alexander Mattison, 4 attempts, 1 yard, and a touchdown. Why I wrote that is because if you're a fantasy football player, 1 yard is 0.1, and then you throw a touchdown on it, it's 6 points. So even though the man only gained 1 yard, you still got 6.1 points out of him, which I find hysterical. Devontae Adams, the almost upset of the weekend with. Yes, that is college football. Now, I would consider that an upset because a school like Kentucky doesn't have the same recruits like a school like Georgia gets. So, yes, I will say that would have been an upset, Sam. I would agree with you on that one. Keep them watched like always. Mwah. Love you, Mama D. Thank you very much. Devontae Adams. I thought this was probably one of his best games since he came over from the Green Bay Packers. 9 receptions, 110 in the touchdown. And the rookie, speaking of Georgia, Sam, Brock Bowers coming out to play the first 2 weeks. 9 receptions for 98 yards. Pretty damn impressive against a tough, stingy Baltimore defense. So between the two of these guys, you figure 208 yards on 18 receptions. So you take that away. Gordon Minshew only completed another 12 passes for, 64 yards? You gotta do a little bit better, Uncle. But, that is who knew. Dorth is a hoot to talk to. Yes, he is. Like I said, I've known Dorth for many, many years. Dorth is family. She's talking about Dorth Nexus, Sam. You know how he is. I mean, we all love Dorth. He might be a pain in the ass sometimes, but at the end of the day, we all are part of the Nexus Nation. As I was over in his stream before I started tonight, showing him some love because he's been coming over here lately, harassing me, yes, but he also is a basement dweller, so like I had said last couple nights, if you're a streamer and you come in and show your other streamers respect, you're gonna get it right back. If you want to be that person that doesn't want to show respect, you're not gonna get it back. There's a plus side to everything. But Robert Spillane again led the team in tackles, 10 tackles, 8 solo, had an interception. Max Crosby, who is a freak under the offensive line, was sure he had one of those. 6 tackles, 5 solo with 2 sacks. And Daniel Carlson, 4 for 4 in field goals, and nailed a game-winning 38-yard field goal with about 30 seconds left in the game. So, like I said, big win for the Raiders, big letdown for the Baltimore Ravens. But Lamar was 21 of 34, 247, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Carried the ball 5 times for 45 yards. Derrick Henry continuing another strong start. I know Mr. Simmons is a Derrick Henry fan like I am. I was mad to see him leave Tennessee, but in 2 games in Baltimore, he has 2 touchdowns. So, hey, keep feeding them all. Same I did to Zeke. But Derrick Henry, 18 carries for 84 yards, 1 touchdown. And their second back, I said, Justice Hill, 4 attempts for 22 yards. Zay Flowers, a decent game, 7 receptions, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Mark Andrews, another one that's not off to the best of starts. If you're a fantasy player, you're actually looking to ship him out already. I don't see that. 4 receptions for 51 yards. Rashad Bateman, 3 receptions for 40 yards. And then on defense, we had Roku Smith with 11 tackles for solo. Odif Owa, 5 tackles for solo, 2.5 sacks. And Kyle Van Noy, who they picked up from the Patriots, 3 tackles, 2 solo, and he also had 2 sacks. Anyhow, you can see multiple players with multiple sacks. That offensive line on the other side has some work to do. We all know some teams need that work, but there's other teams that need the work to get to the quarterback. But we won't talk about that. Like I said, if you're looking, first time in, make sure you say hello. Let me know you're here. There's a team that you represent. Again, let me know in chat. But otherwise, we're just hanging out and enjoying life tonight. It's Wednesday. All right, moving on. The Cleveland Browns at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Another team that had high aspirations going into this season, who has been a disappointment so far. And Trevor Lawrence came out this week and said that they have just plain out sucked. Troy's still here. Okay, right. Troy, like I said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, Troy, please put them in the chat. You know how these shows work. We rely on our viewers. So don't be afraid to interact, sir. Your Commanders are coming up soon, I promise. I know that's what you're waiting for. But I thought this was a disappointment. I thought Jacksonville could have easily handled them, but again, they are paid professionals. Stuff like this, it's going to happen. But Deshaun Watson, 22 of 34, 186. 5 rushes for 20 yards and a touchdown. Jerome Ford, who has been the number 1 back with the injury to Nick Chubb, 7 attempts for 64 yards. Dante Foreman, who used to be with the Tennessee Titans, 14 carries for 42 yards. Then receiving the ball, Jerry Jeudy, who is the number 2 that they brought over from the Denver Broncos. 5 receptions for 73 yards. And Elijah Moore, another trade recipient from the New York Jets. 6 receptions for 44 yards. All right. And then I don't have my buddy Joe in chat to help me with any of these names, so I apologize. But Jeremiah Oza Koloma, 7 tackles, 6 solo. Jordan Hicks. Yes, that is the former Eagles linebacker. I didn't know he wound up in Cleveland, but he had 3 tackles and 1 sack. Ender Monster on the defensive line. Mr. Myles Garrett, 3 tackles and 1 sack. Now, if Myles Garrett keeps his head straight all year round, he's a great bet. He's a good edge rusher. I actually love his game. The problem with Myles Garrett is he is a hothead. And then Dustin Hopkins, 3 for 3 on field goals. So you take away the 3 field goals, and they lose this game 13-9. So, I mean, Watson has a lot on his plate. I know there was another civil suit filed against him, but I'm leaving the legal aspect out of it. But don't be surprised if you hear it more and more in the next couple of weeks about it. On the other side, you have Trevor Lawrence, 14-30 for 220, 2 rushes for 45 yards. His college best friend, teammate now, Travis Etienne Jr., 13 rushes for 52 yards and a touchdown. Brian Thompson Jr., the rookie wide receiver who's actually been putting up some solid numbers. 2 receptions for 94 yards. Brayton Strange, 3 receptions for 65. And Gabe Davis, the free agent acquisition from the Buffalo Bills, only 3 receptions for 43 yards. You would hope that you would get a little bit more out of Gabe Davis and Christian Cook, who are your top 2 wide receivers in Jacksonville, and Cook's been non-existent. I don't know if it was letting Calvin Ridley go has hurting the development of Cook. I think Evan Ingram's been banging up already. Jacksonville's a mess. And if Doug Peterson's not careful, he might see himself out of town real soon. And on defense, Montreal Brown, 11 tackles, 4 stayed. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Owu Khan, 8 tackles, 3 solo, 1 sack. And Josh Hines Allen. Now, it used to just be Josh Allen, but people were getting that Josh Allen and the Buffalo Josh Allen confused. So I think that's why he added the name Hines to it. Former first round pick, but he had 4 tackles, 3 solo, and 1 sack. So, I mean, Jacksonville needs to right in the ship if they want to get back in track, because if not, they're going to lose ground real quick, and it's going to be very hard to catch up. All right, moving on to the laughing stock of the NFL right now. Our lovely Carolina Panthers facing a new Chargers regime who's actually 2-0 under new head coach Jim Harbaugh. More power to him. But Justin Herbert, who did get banged up in this game a little bit, 14-20, 130, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, had 6 rushes for 18 yards. And J.K. Dobbins, I had mentioned him last week, coming over from the Baltimore Ravens on a 1-year deal. He is showing out. I mean, what can I tell you? If Dobbins can stay healthy, I would expect these numbers all year. But we all know J.K. Dobbins does have that injury history. It's a shame because I thought he was a great back at Ohio State, and unfortunately, he never really translated over to the NFL. But he had 17 more rushes for another 131 yards rushing and another touchdown. Gus Edwards, another former Baltimore Ravens back, 18 attempts for 59 yards. Then over on the receiving aspect, Quentin Johnston, who was their first round pick last year at a TCU, 5 receptions, 51 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Will Desi, who is a tight end, coming over from Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. 3 receptions for 29 yards. And Lad McConkey, I love that name. Hey, good day, lad. He had 2 receptions for 26 yards. Diane Henley, 10 tackles with 6 solo. Denzel Perryman, 7 tackles, 5 solo, 1 sack. And the big name on their defense has a slow day. Joey Bosa, only 2 tackles, but he did have 1 sack. Alright, I know there are people who do root for the Panthers. I feel sorry for their fan base. They have been absolutely dismal the last few years. I mean, you would hope by now that they would have some way to right in the ship. Maybe Bryce Young starting this week will help. You would hope, but you never know. But Bryce Young, 18-26 for 84 yards. I think they said this was the 5th lowest passing yards for a starting quarterback in like the last 10 years or something. It's just a shame. Trevor Herbert, 10 rushes for 64 yards. They still have Miles Sanders. He's not doing nothing. I didn't bother writing him down this week. Tommy Tremble, 3 receptions for 23 yards. It's kind of sad when you're tight end, your leading receiver, he only has 23 yards. Adam Thielen, who came over from the Vikings, was a catch machine. Only 2 receptions for 20 yards. Delonte Johnson, who they got in the trade with Pittsburgh, again, 3 receptions for 15 yards. I mean, these numbers aren't going to win you games. I hope they know that. So I wish Andy Dalton best of luck taking over that offense. Maybe he can light a spark under their ass or something. They need it bad. That whole franchise is in disarray. And on defense, Shaq Thompson, 14 tackles, 8 solo. And Josie Jewell. I like that name too. Josie Jewell. 11 tackles and he had 8 solo. So just closing out this game, I mean, you hope that Carolina can flip a switch. You truly do. So, I mean. Mr. Evans, if you're still in chat, here's your game, sir. I want to hear Troy's feedback on this game. So, Troy, if you're still in chat, please jump in the conversation, sir. Let me know what you thought, what you liked, what you didn't like, the whole 9 yards. Because if your team can win kicking just field goals, more power to you. You need to learn to score touchdowns, though. So, I mean, the Giants are in a hole. I mean, they're 0-2. Everybody else in the division's 1-1. But now the Giants also have the short end of the stick on the tiebreaker aspect, losing a division game off the bat. So, again, when will it end for the Giants? And Daniel Jones right in the ship, or will they have to go to a backup as well? Was losing Saquon Barkley that big of a hit for the New York Giants? So again, hopefully Troy's still here in chat. He can tell me how he feels about his Washington Commanders. Like I said, anyone who is a fan of any team, if we talk about your team, shout it out. Let me know what you think. But Daniel Jones, he actually had a decent game, 16-28, 178, 2 touchdowns. The red zone penalties cost us more points. Hey, that's what I want. Troy, I'm going to pull this comment real quick. This is what I want. If you're a fan of any one of your teams, if you're on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and we're talking about your team, your game, and you watched it precisely, because here where I'm at in South Jersey, plus I work a lot of Sundays, I don't see these games. I watch the highlights. So I don't get to sit and watch 10, 15 screens of football like I wish I could. So if you're in the viewing area of any of these games and saw any of these games play out, please intertwine in chat. I will pull up your comment. If you have a point you want to make about the game, feel free. Open discussion. Don't be afraid. So Troy's saying the red zone penalties cost us more points. Well, from what I read, sir, that is true, because 3 of the 7 field goals he had kicked were within the 20-yard range. They were between 20 and 29 yards. So that tells me you're getting down the field, but you're not finishing off the drives. Jaden Daniels needs to learn to slide. Hey, that's the problem with these rookie quarterbacks. A lot of them are mobile quarterbacks, and a lot of them don't know the slide technique, so they are getting hurt. The Giants didn't have a kicker. Yeah, because Graham Gano got hurt this weekend, didn't he? If I'm not mistaken. But Daniel Jones, 16-28, 178, 2 touchdowns, 5 rushes for 32 yards. Devin Singletary. Hello, sir. Sorry I'm late. Late? You're 41 minutes. I'm just kidding. Nice to see you, sir. Nice to see you in chat, Grim. Thank you for popping in tonight. Yes, sir. I thought I read that Gino got hurt, so everybody give it up for Grim in chat. He is so slowly recovering. He will be back before we know it. But we will hold down the fort here in the Basement Show without him. Devin Singletary, who, like I said, was the free agent pickup to replace Saquon. Just been one of those days. I understand, sir. I understand. But we're all here as a family here in the basement show. You know that. And we have your back. But whatever way you need us. And Mama D's over on Twitch on Big Daddy. She's watching the Twitch world for me. My league neighbors finally showed out and came out to play. 10 receptions, 127, 1 touchdown. And I did have them in my one fantasy league. Thank you, Mr. Neighbors. Darius Slayton, 3 receptions for 33 yards. Wendell Robinson, who is the emerging slot receiver. No, not slot receiver for the New York Giants. 2 receptions for 18 yards, 1 touchdown. Michael McFadden, 13 tackles, 7 solo, 1 sack. Drew Phillips, 12 tackles, 7 solo, 1 sack. Jason Pittick, 9 tackles, 8 solo, 2 sacks. And they had 5 sacks altogether. But you notice one thing you don't see on that list. It's another very high-end draft pick from a couple years ago. Where's Kayvon Thibodeau? I mean, like, where's Brian Burns, the big money man they got in a trade from Carolina? Like, these are the players that you would expect to see making plays, but they're not. It's kind of sad. But you're not the only team that has that problem, so we can't knock them too much. Ew Sports. Hi, Miss Grimm. So I got Grimm on Facebook, Miss Grimm on Twitch. Oh, Lordy D, Lordy D. Jane Daniels, 23 of 26. 10 attempts for 44 yards. Brian Robinson Jr., who is a remarkable story. If you didn't follow last offseason, Brian Robinson Jr. was actually shot and missed a couple weeks recovering from a gunshot wound. But he came back, I want to say week 8 or 9 last year, and just been on a tear since. So, I mean, anyone that can come back from a gunshot wound, you got my praise. Austin Eckler, 8 carries for 38 yards, 3 receptions for 47. So, a decent amount of game, 85-year-old total. I mean, that's what you can ask for a number 2 back. I mean, sure, I would like you guys to use Austin Eckler a little bit more. But when you have a running back like Brian Robinson, I know it's harder. Then Brian Robinson Jr. is healthier than ever. Yeah, I mean, the kid's good. The kid is good. I will say that. Then I always have a hard time reading this name, being an Eagles fan, but Zach Ertz leading the way again. 4 receptions for 62 yards. I still can't get over the grips of Zach Ertz being in a Washington jersey. Us Philly fans feel that pain. Noah Brown. Daniels, no interception so far. Knock on wood, Troy. Don't jinx him. Noah Brown, 3 receptions, 56 yards. Scary Terry, not being much scary this year. Only 6 receptions for 22 yards. I mean, he's catching the ball, but he's not getting the yards. So unless you're in a PPR league, you're not too happy with him. Franklin LaRue, 11 tackles with 6 solo. The ageless Bobby Wagner, 9 tackles with 5 solo. And Oster Schubert, yes, you are reading that correctly, 7 for 7 on field goals. And like I had said, 3 of those field goals were under 30 yards. So they got in the red zone, but as Mr. Evans has put, the red zone penalties cost us more points. So they got to clean that shit up and get the ball in the end zone. Because he's not going to be able to kick like that all season. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, Austin Schubert. I said that. So, Mr. Evans, before I move on, I'm going to let you have one more second. If there's anything else that you would like to mention about this game before we move on, please put it in the chat now. It says we got 2 on the YouTube. I think that's still Miz and my friend Vinny must be watching. 3 on the Facebook, and we got the ladies on Twitch. Which we're probably now talking against amongst each other for a different way, so I can't see what they're talking about. Probably talking about how annoying I am, how much they don't like me. Like Miss Grimm has said, ew, sports. St. Just was the fumble also, by the way. Okay. So you had another defensive turnover. Migraines kicking my ass. Ooh, migraines are never fun. I need to get up and cook dinner. Well, take me in the kitchen. You can have me on your phone while you're cooking dinner, and I can harass you as you're cooking dinner. Ew, sports. Ha ha ha. Great. Now I got Grim saying it too. Well, can you and Mrs. Grimm do me a favor and actually send a message to Rodney? He told me he was going to be in here tonight, and he's not in here. I have to make Grimm scrapple. Scrapple. Don't forget the ketchup. Yay, sports. Dave's back. Moving on. Another surprising 2-0 team. The Seattle Seahawks went into Foxborough. Sorry, Miss Grimm, but your Patriots are now 1-1. And thank you for tagging Rodney, sir. Appreciate that. But Geno Smith, 33 of 44 for 327, one touchdown. Zach Charbonnet, subbing for an injured Kenneth Walker III, 14 carries for 38 yards and a touchdown. Also had 5 receptions for 31 yards. DK Metcalf finally showed up to play a game. 10 receptions for 129 and a touchdown. Jackson Smith and Njigba, 12 receptions for 117. The Ohio State wide receiver who screwed us over last year. Rayshon Jennings, 9 tackles for solo. Leonard Williams, 4 tackles, 1 solo, and a sack and a half. And then kicker Jason Myers, 3 of 3 with a game-winning 31-yard field goal in overtime. Yay, sports. Pats play tomorrow night against the Jets. And honestly, Troy, oh God, I'm gonna hear shit for this. Miss Grimm, I'm taking your Patriots tomorrow night. Screw the Jets. I hope the Patriots beat them. I mean, I'm wearing my Eagle stuff, but I have to say, I can't stand the New York Jets. So I am pulling for the New England Patriots to win that game tomorrow. It's the goddamn Jets. I know. It's the goddamn Jets. If I can find like a 15-second clip of that, sir, I'm going to include that in my slideshow every week. And we're just going to play it whenever we talk about the Jets. And how it's freezing over. Like I said, I just can't buy into the hype of the New York Jets. If you ask me, they're one of the most overrated teams. So as much as I hate the Patriots, and when the fuck did we get us? Yeah, I can add that as a sound clip. So we will have those 2 sound bites added in the studio by the end of the night. I guarantee it. But yeah, we'll get there. But I definitely want those 2. Sold. Microsoft just went down 2 points. Jacoby Brissett, like I said, who I feel is a very good underrated quarterback, 15 to 27, 149, 1 touchdown. Antonio Gibson, 11 carries for 96 yards, 1 reception for 7. Hobbs Stevenson, 21 attempts for 81 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 receptions for 9 yards. Hunter Henry, first time you've heard that name in a couple years. Since he left the Chargers, 8 receptions for 109. And Jalen Polk, 2 receptions for 1 tackle. 1 touchdown, sorry. Now on defense, Kyle Duggar. And Troy, you said that 2 minutes ago. You just said that, Troy. Sorry to tell you, but sometimes you repeat yourself, buddy. Rodney Ortiz is hopping on now. Okay. long as he's here for the fantasy aspect, because I know he wants to talk her shit because he kicked my ass this week. So as long as he's in here for that, because I will be joined by Mr. Sam Simmons for that as well. But Tyler Duggan, 9 tackles, 8 solo, 1 sack. Keon White, another 7 tackles, 2 solo, another sack and a half. Some of these players have multiple sacks on the year. Like, I am jealous because my team has none. All right, here's where everyone wants to beat me up because we are going to talk about the San Francisco 49ers. So if my friend Vinny's on YouTube, now's your chance to yell at me. A fucking Raiders fan. Sure, I understand that. But here in NFL Talk, we let people represent their team proudly. As long as they come in with credible knowledge about the game of football, you can talk any team you want. I don't discriminate. Someone could be a Cleveland Browns fan. As long as they can back their shit up and talk their shit, hey, more power to them. If you come in and say, hey, my team won this, we won that, but you haven't been relevant, like, even though, there he is, hi, Benny. Even though their team sucks. Yeah, I mean, but like I said, as long as people want to come in, show their knowledge about the game of football, I'm going to let them talk about anything they want. That's fucked up to call. It's the first one that popped in my head, okay? If my friend Dom was here, I'd call it out of the Arizona Cardinals. I'm waiting for my friend Dom to say something about Arizona. Because he told me he was going to watch tonight. Like, I can just start calling out random teams, and if you guys feel offended by that, be my guest. I'm sorry. I'm only human. Of course, the Browns. Hey, I have family who roots for the Browns, sir. They're from Ohio. Okay? So I know they feel your pain. I get it. I'm sorry. Sorry. But Vinny's, I know, and then, as you can see, my friend Vinny is in chat. May they lose every game because he is a fantasy player. He, like many people. Hey, you called the Bluebirds lost this week. I will give you that. Okay? You said the Eagles were going to lose and they lost. Okay? I will give you your brownie points for the week. Yeah. Here. I didn't get you. No, I'm not going to do it. I got too many people in here. Just we can talk afterwards, but everyone, Alan Wallace told me last week that the Atlanta Falcons were going to beat the Eagles, and he was right. So here's your round of applause, sir. But lost my train of thought. It was a close game, yes, but one that should have never been that close. And if my friend Miz is still in chat, he would tell you the same thing. Eagles gave that game away. But Brock Purdy, 28-36, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Jordan Mason starting again for Christian McCaffrey, 20 attempts for 100 yards, and a touchdown. Debo Samuel, I should say senior, not junior. I apologize. Had 8 receptions for 110. Did suffer an injury during this game, though, which is unfortunate. George Kittle, 7 receptions for 76 yards and 1 touchdown. Brandon Ayuk, who is now having to step up. See if he can do that. I mean, after all, he did just get that contract. So it's time to nut up or shut up, as they say in the movie Zombieland. Sorry. 4 receptions for 43 yards. Fred Warner, 9 tackles, 7 solo, 1 sack. And Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa's brother, had 5 tackles, 4 solo, 2 sacks. The Bosa brothers are actually a good duo. I mean, I would be honestly really curious to see them on the same team. I think that could be quite the scene. So let's see. There it is. Randy's watching. So Rodney, make sure you make your presence known. We haven't talked fantasy yet. I'm saving that just for you, buddy. Like I said, I have a. How do you like my fantasy team so far? I hate it. I hate it. Like I said, we're going to talk fantasy in a little bit. So don't go nowhere. Hang out for a little bit. Put your feet up. Get some popcorn. Get your popcorn ready, eh? But Sam Darnold, 17 and 26, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 5 rushes for 32 yards. Ty Chandler, 10 attempts for 82 yards. Aaron Jones, 9. I know you must drop 200 on me, okay? I don't need to remind it, sir. Damn. Aaron Jones, 9 rushes for 32 yards, 5 receptions for 36. Justin Jefferson did have a 97-yard touchdown, 4 receptions for 133 and a touchdown. Jalen Naylor, 3 receptions for 54 yards and a touchdown. Blake Cashman, love the last name Cashman. Makes me think of cash. 13 tackles, 5 solo, and had a sack. And Pat Jones, the second, 5 tackles, 2 solo, and 2 sacks. But yes, everyone who is on the Facebook side of it, Rodney Ortiz is another one of our fantasy players. He goes by the name Raider Nation. So when we talk fantasy football with Mr. Simmons, you see the Raider Nation, you know he's going to be high praising his team, which I will give him his flowers too. Moving on to the next one. Look, it's the goddamn Jets. And they pulled out a win this past Sunday down in Nashville. 24-17. I'm not sure if it's snooze fest, but hey, in the National Football League, a win is a win. Aaron Rodgers, a little bit better of a game than against San Fran. 18 of 30, 176, and 2 touchdowns. Bryce Hall, who is remarkable coming back from the torn ACL. 4 rushes for 62 yards. Also had 7 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown. Braylon Allen, who is the number 2 back, had 17 rushes for 33 yards and a touchdown. And also 2 receptions for 23 yards and a touchdown. And their leading receiver, Garrett Wilson, only 4 receptions for 57 yards. Jimmy Duke's game, 4 catches for 144. Damn. Oh, what? Justin Jefferson? Right here, Justin Jefferson, 4 receptions for 133 and a touchdown. Because he had a 97-yard touchdown catch, sir. That with 97 yards on one play, that number's going to skyrocket. So shit, you take that away, you had 3 receptions for 36 yards? Something like that. All adds up. But everybody in chat, if you're on YouTube, make sure you check out Jimmy Duke's Gaming. He does a video game stream. He is a podcaster like us. We're really good friends. So, Mr. Jimmy, thank you for popping in my chat tonight. Awesome to see you. As always. So, much kudos to you, sir. But on the Tennessee, after Garrett Wilson, Jameer Sherwood, 12 tackles, 8 solo. William McDonald, the 4th. These junior, seniors, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Just first and last name, please. 4 tackles, and he had 3 sacks, which is pretty damn good. Solomon Thomas, 3 tackles, 1 solo. Probably about 5, Sam. I'll send you a link in a couple of minutes. Unless you want to jump on and talk about your Dallas Cowboys. I'd love to get your take on that game. Because that might be next. I'm going to multitask because, like I said, Mr. Simmons will be joining the show tonight. Everyone knows Sam as one of the OGs of the Basement Show. Oh, no. They blew it, Nast. That is all. Now Jimmy Dick's over on Facebook. There you go. Highest paid quarterback for nothing. Oh, damn. Well, he's allowed to say that. He is from Texas. So Tennessee, Will Levis, 19-28, 192, one touchdown, one interception, 4 rushes for 38 yards. Hey, look, your former Dallas Cowboys running back, Tony Pollard, 17 rushes for 62 yards, 5 receptions for 40. Calvin Ridley, decent game, 4 receptions, 77 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 rush for 10 yards, and a touchdown. I missed a comment. Oh, yeah. Grim saying he's taking the Jets tomorrow night. Oh, civil war in the Grim household. Uh-oh. That could get dangerous. Tyler Boyd, who they got over from the Cincinnati Bengals, only 2 receptions for 26 yards. Then on defense, again with these fourths and thirds. Ernest Jones the fourth. 9 tackles, 6 solo. Howard Landry is the third. 3 tackles, 2 solo, and he had 2 sacks. Who do the Jets play tomorrow? They play the Patriots tomorrow night. And I'm going a 6-point spread. Well, see, I mean, as fun as it is to bet the spread, sometimes it can get very irritating and frustrating. Oh, yeah, the Jets. Damn, everyone's teaming up on Miss Grimm. I'm going with the Jets tomorrow night. Pats are probably the 3rd worst team in the NFL. I mean, they're a young team. I wouldn't say they're one of the worst, but they could surprise some people. Let me just send this real quick. Pardon me. Okay. So Sam has that. Like I said, we will be joined by him soon. But I wouldn't say the Patriots are like they're scheduled to be one of the worst, but they do have potential. And Troy says just fall. Oh, we'll find him after Jimmy Dukes. Okay. Troy, if you're just following Jimmy Dukes, I will tell you, sir, you will not be disappointed. The man is a content machine. Rather, it's video game streaming, podcasting. So, Panthers, Giants, Pats are horrible. That is a modest top 3. I will give you that, Mr. Ortiz. I will say that is a good combination. Okay, about 10 to 15 minutes, we will be getting joined by Mr. Simmons, which is fine. We will be moving on to the next game. And we had the Indianapolis Colts going to Lambeau Field. The Colts. This is a shock to me that the Indianapolis Colts are 0-2. I mean, another good, decent young quarterback with Anthony Richardson. Banged up most of last year. But I thought they could win this game, and I was wrong. But Anthony Richardson finished 17 of 34 for 204 yards, a touchdown, 3 interceptions. Also ran the ball for four times for 37 yards. He is another mobile quarterback that seems to be a growing trend in the NFL these days, and it's kind of scary. And then Jonathan Taylor, his turnovers has to stop if they want to win. I would agree with you on that. I mean, especially this year, not having the backup quarterback that they had last year with Minshew, you can ill afford turnovers and you can't get hurt. Because if you do that, the Colts season's done. Jonathan Taylor, 12 attempts, 103 yards. Also had 2 receptions for 32 yards. Alec Pierce, who is putting up some really solid numbers to start the season, I gotta say. 5 receptions for 56 yards, 1 touchdown. Mo Alley Cox, who is their tight end, 1 reception for 22 yards. And Michael Pittman Jr., off to a slow start. Hopefully steps it up a little bit. 3 receptions for 21 yards. And then defensively, I mean, they didn't have any sacks, but these guys came to play. Nick Cross, 15 tackles, 10 solo. EJ Speed, 11 tackles, 8 solo. And Zaire Franklin, not to be confused with the Clifford Franklin from the movie The Replacements. 10 tackles and 5 solo. And Malik Willis, who made his actual first career. I think don't know if it was his first career start, but did throw his first career touchdown pass in this game. Finished 12 of 14, 122, one touchdown, had 6 rushes for 41 yards. And Josh Jacobs, 32 rushes. Damn, that's a workhorse. For 151 yards, so that's barely 4.7 yards per carry. Kind of, yeah, that's just a lot of carries for second game of the season. Romeo Dobbs, 3 receptions for 62. Diaving Wicks, I can't pronounce that first name, I apologize. 3 receptions for 26 yards and a touchdown. Tucker Kraft, only 2 receptions for 16 yards. Again, where's your young Christian Watson at? I mean, nowhere to be found. And Clay Walker, 6 tackles, 6 solo. And Javon Bernard, 5 tackles with 3 solo. I mean, can Malik Willis win games? Sure. Is he going to win every game? No. But if he can play smart, I think Green Bay can stay afloat till Jordan Love comes back. But you can't expect 30 carries a game for Josh Jacobs. That's just asinine crazy. All right, moving on. This one I thought had potential to be a really good game, and it winded up being a very good game. Tampa Bay going into Detroit and getting revenge from last year's divisional round playoff matchup. Excuse me. And Baker Mayfield. A lot of people are sleeping on Baker Mayfield this year. Don't. The man's is off to a great start. I actually have high hopes for Baker Mayfield. 6-point spread. Damn. That's kind of a high spread for a football game nowadays. But it is the Jets and Patriots, so it doesn't surprise me. But Baker Mayfield, 12 of 19, 185, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Also 5 rushes for 34 yards and a touchdown. So he accounted for both Tampa Bay's touchdowns on Sunday. Okay. Bucky Irving, the young rookie running back from the University of Oregon. Sorry. Had a brain fart for a minute. 7 rushes for 22 yards. Rashad White, 10 rushes for 18. Still not much on the ground rushing, but receiving wise, Chris Godwin, pride of Penn State. We are Penn State. Sorry. 7 receptions for 117 and a touchdown. Mike Evans, 3 receptions for 42 yards. Easily top 5, I think. 1-2 punch in the NFL. I mean, if you disagree with me on that, your opinion, I'm stating mine. Jordan Whitehead, 11 tackles, 8 solo. So you, Vincha Dennis, 11 tackles, 6 solo. And Jameel Dean, 10 tackles with 7 solo. I mean, they're number 1 to me. Oh, that is a good take. I mean, they are 2 dynamic wide receivers. They complement each other very, very well. And I think they're both locked up for the next couple of years, if I'm not mistaken, which is awesome. And then over on the Detroit side of the ball, we all know they had that thrilling overtime win week 1 versus the Rams. So, I mean, maybe a little bit of a letdown. Who knows? But Jared Goff, 34 of 55. Again, like I just said with the last fight with Josh Jacobs, you're not going to win a game if you're throwing the ball 55 times. I'm sorry. But the fact that you had 55 passing attempts and your 2 running backs combined had 24 attempts, that's a lot of offensive plays. So, I mean, yee. But Jared Goff, 34 of 55, 307 with 2 INTs. Johnny Gibbs, 13 attempts for 84 yards. Also had 7 receptions for 22. David Montgomery, 11 rushes for 35 yards, 1 touchdown. Also 4 receptions, 35 yards, and 4 receptions for 35 yards as well. Crazy all those plays and only 16 points to show for it. Agreed. That's some stingy defense over on the Tampa Bay side. That's all I can say. Stingy defense. And they always say defense wins championships. I'm on St. Brown. A big day for your fantasy team if you have him in the PPR league. 11 receptions, 119. Jameis Williams, who I think is having a great start to the season. 5 receptions for 79 yards. And Sam Laporta, who everyone thought was going to be a top 2 tight end this year. Also a bit of a struggle. 2 receptions for 13 yards. All right, now moving down to defense. Brian Branch, who I wanted the Eagles to get at safety. 6 tackles, 5 solo. Jack Campbell, who is another great young linebacker. 6 tackles, 4 solo. And Aiden Hutchinson. This stat blew my mind away. 5 tackles, 4 solo, 4.5 sacks. Holy fuck. After 2 sacks, maybe 2.5 sacks, you think, okay, maybe we got to double team him. No! You let this man have 4.5 sacks by himself. That is insanity. Like, am I the only one that thinks that? I mean, my friends on YouTube, I don't like that's insane. 4.5 sacks for one player. Him and Max Crosby are like the same player. It's crazy how they don't stop. And I think they barely come off the field. Like, damn. I just read that. Like I said, I didn't get to see much of these games this weekend, but I read the box score. Like, wait, am I reading that way? I did one of these numbers a couple times because I do this late at night. But no, 4.5 sacks. I was like, holy shit. So, I mean, damn. All right. I wish he was on here for this. I know he doesn't want to talk about it. So we'll try to be nice and be nice to Mr. Sam Simmons. But all I can say is, how about them Cowboys? That's all I'm going to say. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. But whoa. Max Crosby plays 100% of the snaps, so yes, they barely do come off the field. It seems that way. I mean, what I will say about this game, in all truth and honesty, Sam, I'm sorry for listening. How do you get embarrassed like this at home? How do you get beat this bad on your home field? This game wasn't even close. This game was over at halftime. So I wouldn't be shocked if most of the fans at AT&T Stadium left at halftime. I'm sorry, but you just gave your quarterback $231 million guaranteed, and then he comes home and drops this shit? This is sickening. How about some Saints? Who they Saints? I mean, this is scary. Because Dallas' defense, I'm saying this as an Eagles fan, Dallas' defense is better than Philly. And they gave up 44 to New Orleans. So if they're giving up 44 to New Orleans, what's Philly going to give up this weekend? I mean, that's just scary. But anywho, I'm getting flashbacks to Nam. I'm sorry. As a Raiders fan, I can't stand Clark, but I give him credit. They beat the bricks off the Cowboys and the Panthers. Yeah, I mean, you got to give the flowers where the flowers are due. And this is one of those games, whether you like him or hate him, you got to give him credit. But there's another certain somebody who carried this team Sunday. And we'll say his name in a minute. Derek Cardo, 11 of 16, 243, 2 TDs, 1 interception, had a rushing touchdown. Wait for it. over Alvin Kamara, who I will thank my friend Vinny if he is watching this on YouTube. Vinny, thank you for the suggestion on my money league. 49 points this week. Tuesday, 20 attempts for 115 and 3 rushing touchdowns. He also had 2 receptions for 65, including a 57-yard screen pass that went for a touchdown. And Jamal Williams, 8 attempts for 39 yards. Rashid Shaneed, 4 receptions for 96 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 rushes for 13 yards. And Chris Overlay, 4 receptions for 81 yards. I mean, you get both of them going and get that running back duo going, that's a scary offense. I know you appreciate Clemmer. Fuck, I forgot you had him in our league. Bit myself in the ass on that one. Who invited Rodney Hughes? Jesus. Antoine Taylor, 9 tackles, 8 solo. Jumping on here in a minute. Okay, take your time, Sam. Not going anywhere. You started. Rodney, I see you with the laughing emoji. Okay, sir. You're going to join me on this show one day. We're going to have a nice little chit chat, sir. Antoine Taylor, 9 tackles, 8 solo. Paul Granderson, 5 tackles, 1 solo, 1.5 sacks. And Chase Young, Mr. Troy. Mr. Troy, are you still here? Agent Troy. We have a Chase Young sighting. I know Troy's probably not too happy about the Commanders letting him walk. I mean, I wouldn't. But, on the Dallas side of the ball, Dak Prescott, 27-39, 293, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 2 attempts for 12 yards. And the running backs, there's nothing new. And they have one of the top lines in the league. I don't get it. Rico Dwaddle, 7 attempts for 30 yards, 4 catches for 29. Zeke Elliott, 16 for 16 yards, 2 receptions for 16. I just don't get it. CeeDee Lamb, 4 receptions, 90 yards. Decent day. Did have the 1 lone touchdown for Dallas. Jalen Tolbert, 6 receptions for 82 yards. And Brandon Cooks, only 2 receptions for 19 yards. Pretty big disappointment. And then defensively, Eric Kendricks, 8 tackles, 3 solo, who is a product of Mike Zimmer back in the day with Minnesota. Trevon Diggs, 5 tackles, 4 solo. And Micah Parsons, only 4 tackles with 2 solo. That's really not impressive. So, I mean, Dallas better shape up. Get their shit together real quick, or it's going to be a long season. But, moving on. Alright. Now I wish my friend Dominic was in chat because I know he has a lot to say about this game. Being the Arizona Cardinals fan he is. He is probably one of the few people I know that live in my area who represent the Arizona Cardinals. And he called this game. I will give him his flowers. He told me last week when Arizona gave that game up against Buffalo, he was like, we're going to go home and we're going to kick the shit out of the Rams. And we're going to surprise everybody in our division. And he did. You know what? Let me see something real quick. See if I can get him to jump in chat. I have his number. I'm sending him a message real quick. If he's watching down, I just sent you a message. I hope you're in chat looking. If you are, if we say something, like I said, I give you credit, sir. 41-10. And again, this game wasn't even close. And it just baffled me and confused me. But The Rams are in trouble. I think we can all agree on that. But Matt Stafford, 19-17, 216. Rick Crum, 8 attempts for 28 yards. Kyrene Williams, who actually I do like as a running back. 12 rushes for 25 yards, 1 touchdown. 4 receptions for 27. Demarcus Robertson. Too many injuries. That is very, very true. The injuries are catching up with the Rams very, very quick. That is a very true statement, Mr. Rodney. Demarcus Robinson, 2 receptions for 50. Tutu! Love that name. Tutu Atwell, who will be probably now the go-to guy besides for Kyrene Williams. I mean, and Tutu only 3 receptions for 48. Dom, you made it! Here's my Cardinals fan, everybody. Masterus over on Twitch. I mean, like I said, from my area, our area, South Jersey, he's the only one I know who roots for the Arizona Cardinals. How's it going, Dom? Thanks for popping in tonight, buddy. Cooper Kupp, you do see an asterisk. I will go over that in a little bit. Why there is an asterisk next to his name. 4 receptions for 37 yards. Quentin Lake led the Rams in tackles with 11-6 solo. Troy Reader, 8 tackles and 4 solo. So, I mean, not much really to talk about with the Rams. But like Rodney said, the injuries are all piling up quick, which is kind of scary. All right, Mr. Dominic, now is your time to shine. I give everyone who represents your team free reign and say whatever they want. So please, load the chat up with whatever you want to say about your Arizona Cardinals. And Sam the Man! Should I let him in? Or should we sit there and watch him laugh for a minute? I'll let him in. Welcome back, sir.
Good to be back.
Oh, that's your actually like always, I got football jersey, but huh?
I said, it's good to be back, and like always, I got my food.
There you go.
Yeah. It wouldn't be me without being on stream without food. So
yeah. I don't know if you had the comments up or not. But the one you're seeing in the bottom right now, Master is a person I work with. He's from the South Jersey area, right? Mm-hmm. He roots, bleeds, and dies for the Arizona Cardinals. But he's from the East Coast.
So happy with this game.
But like he says, greatest team ever, and Kyler the best quarterback because Kyler Murray balled out 17-21, 266, 3 touchdowns, 5 rushes for 59 yards. James Conner, who, if you don't know his story, you gotta look it up. It is absolutely amazing. Then though he beat cancer, came back, and he's been playing with the vengeance since.
Nice.
21 attempts, 122, and a touchdown. Amari Demarcetato, I don't know, 2 rushes for 46. And Marvin Harrison Jr. actually got the ball this game.
4 times.
Yeah, for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Let's see, you do the math, that's... Hey, Troy. Let's see, do the math, that's...
About 35 yards a catch.
Yeah, about 35 yards a catch, yeah.
Which is pretty awesome.
Which is pretty good, considering.
Yeah. Trey McBride, 6 receptions for 67. Isaiah Hedrians only had the 1 catch for 18, but did have a touchdown. And then, probably who I think is one of the hardest safeties in the league now, Buda Baker.
Not familiar with the name.
He actually almost came to Philly. Really? Kaiser White, who's been, this is his 2nd year out there, played for Philly 1 year. And then Dennis Gudek, I don't know who that is, 6 tackles. But again, 3 sacks. It's pretty mighty impressive for one player. Unless you're Aiden Hutchinson and you get 4.5 sacks per game.
And there was another, wasn't there another, I was listening earlier, there was another guy who had 3 sacks too.
I think so. Where is Sam? Sam's right here. Right below me.
I'm right here. Stop
Sam, can you tell you
Stop with the short jokes, Curtis. Stop with the short. I just got here. Come on.
It's
You know what?
crazy.
You know what? Hold on. Wait. There. That better?
Well, he's asking Sam, can you tell your wife to get the booster seat out? That's just mean. Not my fault he's short, Curtis. So before I go any forward anymore, do you want to mention anything about your Dallas game, or you just want to set it and forget it?
No. I think all that needs to be said has already been said. Dak went and got a $60 million a year contract and then proceeded to choke. And so all I have to say is he weaseled his way into that contract. I won't say that I don't think he deserves it. If you look at stats, he when it comes to stats, he statistically regular season, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league statistically.
Yeah. In
the regular season. But we all know what matters, and that's, can you put a ring on it? And he can't. And that's the difference between him and Patrick Mahomes, because I've seen over the last 4 seasons, you put their stats side by side, you don't know who is who.
True. They did do that the one game. I remember they did that.
You put their stats together and you don't know who's who. But the difference is one has 4 Super Bowl appearances and 3 wins?
Yeah, something like
that. The other hasn't even made a
conference championship.
Conference championship. And so he weaseled his way into that contract, but statistically, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Statistically. Now, he needs to prove it.
That's true.
If he somehow manages to take Dallas, even take them to the Super Bowl, I wouldn't even say win the Super Bowl. If he can manage to somehow get past some of these NFC powerhouse teams in the playoffs, then that $60 million, I think, will be worth it.
Yeah, I guess we shall see. Grim's defending you in chat. He says, "Hey, leave the short ones alone. I married one." So Grim's got your back.
Well, good to know.
Kylo also had a perfect 158.3. Well, look at the stats. I mean, that says it for himself. So what you were saying is he has stat pattern.
No, because in football, it's kind of hard to pad your stats in football. I mean, you can look at basketball and it's easy. Oh, I'm going to purposely miss a few shots and get my own rebounds to pad my rebounds. Or I'm going to convince my teammates to get me the ball, a few extra times to take a few extra shots and get, pad my stats. But how do you pad your stats in football?
Yeah, true.
It's a lot more difficult than that.
I'm going to give you a better, Ronnie, I'm going to give him a better analogy, okay? Is Dak Prescott the new Paul Crew? Had to. Sorry.
I like that.
He's also the second quarterback in the NFL history to throw for 250 and rush for 50. Well, there you go. My friend Donald's talking about Kyler, so I mean.
Yeah. I mean, and Kyler, this is only his. I guess he's been in the league a couple of years now.
Yeah, he's been around. He's just always hurt. So I mean, if they can keep him upright.
If he can stay upright.
Now I know he's a good quarterback. He's like Aaron Rodgers sucks in the playoffs. At least Rodgers got one. Laugh out loud. Damn.
I think if you take Jerry Jones out of the equation, with the teams that Dallas has had the last couple of seasons, and I'm not saying that this is fact, but I feel like if you were to take Jerry Jones out of the equation, lock him in the owner's box and take away any communication from to the coaches, I think Dallas could win. I really do. If he would let the coaches coach. But he doesn't let the coaches coach.
No.
He tries to be everything.
Yeah. But we're going to talk about another one of your former coaches in a minute. Real quick, the Pittsburgh Steelers 2-0. This is kind of shocks me. And yes, I do all this work for every single game, Sam. So I am nuts. Justin Fields, who is surprising people, 13 to 21, 17, 1 touchdown, 8 rushes for 27. Yes. He's doing what he has to do to win these games.
Yep.
And that's what they brought him over to Chicago for, just to do enough to win a game.
Well, over in Chicago, you have a really nice young quarterback that if they can build him up, they have a future.
What, Jaden Daniels?
No, Chicago.
Oh, sure. Okay, we will talk about Williams in a minute too.
Yeah.
Najee Harris 7. Well, hold on. Steelers are so boring, but hey, they win the old school way. Yes, that is true. They do. And that's how a lot of teams win nowadays. They drag it out in the trenches and find ways to win, or they find ways to lose it in the trenches.
Hey, that's football, man. That's football.
It is. Najee Harris, 17 carries for 69, 1 reception for 5. Jalen Warren, 9 receptions for 42 yards, 2 receptions for 19 yards. Pat Fairmouth, 4 receptions for 39. George Pickens, who hasn't done shit so far. my friend Don will tell you, we have him in separate fantasy leagues, but we both agree he hasn't done shit. George Pickens, 2 receptions, 29. Donnell Washington, 1 reception, 5 yards, but did have the 1 touchdown. And then pretty much nothing really to wait home on defense. Just Ryan Elliott, 9 tackles, 4 solo. Mika Fitzpatrick, 7 tackles, 5 solo. Highsmith, 4 tackles, 1 sack. And TJ Watt, 3 tackles, 1 sack. And Chris Boswell, 2 field goals.
I want to see the further stats of TJ Watt. I want to see not just his tackles and sacks, but I want to know how much pressure did he put on the quarterback.
Well, now you're asking a lot for me, okay? I do enough as it is.
No. I'm not saying I want you to put it up there. I'm just saying, I want to look at that because, you look at these stats for TJ Watt. TJ Watt, Pro Bowl. The guy is amazing, just like his brother. But you look at this, 3 tackles, 1 sack. It doesn't sound like he contributed too much. And that's why I'm like, but how much pressure was he putting on Bo Nix?
I know what you're saying. Coming next week, folks, we're going to have a play-by-play breakdown of all 16 games in the NFL at the request of Sam Simmons. Get ready for a 300-slide slideshow. We're going to go deep in analysis. Max Crosby is better. Ooh.
With guest host Pat McAfee.
God.
Oh, that would be fun.
It'd be a riot. Especially if I could get him to go off on the tangent he went off this past Saturday with.
He has some good tangents. I love listening to his tangents.
Did you watch last Saturday? They were in Columbia, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Who plays in South Carolina?
Gamecocks.
Yeah. So what does Pat McAfee pull from underneath the desk? And what's he yelling on stage? I'm the mayor of Cocktown. Look it up. Pat McAfee in South Carolina. It's bizarre.
One of my favorite Pat McAfee moments is still the Georgia-Alabama game where he did the whole Georgia Bulldogs chant and then go, and I'm picking Alabama.
Yep, I remember that. I think South Carolina rivals that, though.
Oh, yeah.
Bo Nix, who is the rookie quarterback out of Oregon this year, 20 of 35, 246, 2 interceptions, 4 rushes for 25 yards.
I think he can do better.
Oh, absolutely. They need another wide receiver, though.
He needs a line, and he needs at least one good wide receiver. One more good wide receiver.
Yeah. Okay. Also, 4 rushes, 25 yards. Javonte Williams, who's come off an injury, I think with ACL last year, too. 11 rushes for 17 yards, 5 receptions for 48. Josh Reynolds, who they did get from the Detroit Lions last year, 4 receptions for 93 yards. Little Jordan Humphrey, I found that name very interesting. 4 receptions for 50 yards. And Cortland Sutton, only 1 reception for 26. That's a disappointment.
Why do I recognize that name?
Cortland Sutton?
Yeah.
You should know it being from Texas.
Oh, that's why. That's why.
SMU.
That's why.
Alex
Like,
Singleton.
I know that name.
Yeah, he went to SMU.
Yeah.
Alex Singleton, who used to play for my Philadelphia Eagles, 11 tackles from solo. Cody Booton, 7 tackles.
I think you're missing that right now.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that next.
Yeah, I think there's like 1 or 2 more after that. Then they had 2 sacks on defense, Zach Allen and Joanna Ellis. And then so far in 2 games, they only have 1 offensive touchdown. That's not going to win you many games.
No. You know, if you had 4 or 5 defensive touchdowns to, compensate for that, maybe. But without those,
Not going anywhere.
not going anywhere. No.
Right. I know you probably watched some of this game.
Actually, I haven't watched a single NFL game yet.
Slacker. All I can say about this game, as close as it looked, Cincinnati gave this game away. But a lot of people will dispute that, and that is fine.
A lot of people will say that it was the refs. I know I've seen a lot of that saying that the refs gave it to them. And
well, the last play, it should have been offsetting penalty. I will say that.
Well, I feel like anytime it doesn't matter who they play. Doesn't matter who they play. If Kansas City wins a close game like this, there's going to be a whole bunch of people who just automatically go, the refs gave it to them. The refs gave it to them. Automatically.
I agree with that. But Slim Shady, Joe Bull, 23 of 36, 258, 2 touchdowns. Zach Moss, 12 attempts, 34 yards. Chase Brown, 4 rushes for 31. Mike Kosecki, the tight end from Miami, 7 receptions, 91. Jerome Burton, 1 catch for 47. Jamar Chase, who said he will not dispute a contract during the season, which that could get interesting in the offseason again. 4 receptions for 35. And Andre Iovez, I don't know how to pronounce that, had 2 catches, 2 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chiefs, the NFL make the moneymaker. They are the new Pats.
I can't deny that one.
No, that is a good comment. I mean, he brings up a good point.
He really does.
Jerome Pratt, 16 tackles. Logan Wilson, 12 tackles. Did have a costly pass interference that kept a drive going, which allowed the Chiefs to win. And Trey Hendrickson, 4 tackles and 2 sacks, who is the premier pass rusher on the defense. Okay, gentlemen, have a good night. It's been a long day. Curtis, it's always good to see you in chat, my friend. Glad you stopped in and show some love.
Have a good night, Curtis.
Even if you do come and pick on Sam, that's okay. We allow it. And then Mr. Sam's favorite Texas quarterback, Pat Mahomes.
I was wearing my Texas Tech shirt earlier today.
At Friday Lubbock. 18 to 25, 151, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, which is really unlike Mahomes.
Very uncharacteristic of him.
Then he had also 4 rushes for 29. Isaiah Pacheco, who you do see an asterisk next to his name. I'll tell you why in a little bit. 9 attempts for 90 yards, had 5 catches for 21 yards. And then Carson Steele, who took over for Pacheco, 7 attempts for 24 yards. But they also did make a very interesting move to counter what happened with Pacheco that not many people might not have heard yet. I will dive in that, like I said, in a couple minutes. Rashid Rice, who I don't think should be playing right now, if you ask me, but that's besides the point. 5 receptions, 75 yards, and Sam left. Where'd he go? Man, child. Probably had one button. It's like, where'd you go?
My screen automatically reloaded and kicked me.
Okay. But I think Rashid Rice shouldn't be playing right now, but that's just my opinion. With the offseason that man had, no.
What did he have now? Surgery?
No, he was arrested for speeding, that car accident.
Right. Okay, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. He has a whole bunch of legal trouble and linger right now.
See, I feel like other players have been suspended or like kicked out of the league for smaller things.
Yep. So like I said, I'll leave all the legal aspects to the old side.
Mm-hmm.
If it was the Raiders, he would be suspended, more than likely. Justin Watson, 2 receptions, 22. Xavier Worthy, another pride of Texas. Only 2 receptions for 17 yards and a rush for 5. And Travis Kelce, only 1 reception for 5. Is Travis Kelce's days numbered in Kansas City?
They might be. I mean, he is getting up there.
But he had 1 reception and he was only targeted 3 times.
See, I'm wondering if there's part of me wondering, are they just are they holding back on him? Trying to figure out, what are we gonna do when he's gone? Trying to play a little bit while he's gone, or play without him and not rely on him as much. Knowing maybe he's coming to an end. But I don't know.
It's not like he needs the money anyway.
No.
Well, I'm sure
you're dating Taylor.
Well, besides that, him and Jason just signed, I think, a week or 2 ago to a New Heights podcast. He's got a deal with Amazon for $100 million.
Yeah, he's probably like, you know what? I'm done after this season. So
joke. But Nick Bolton, 7 tackles. Justin Reed, 7 tackles. Chris Jones, who is the big beefy defensive tackle, only half a sack. And who people are now calling Mr. Automatic, Harrison Buckner, with a 51-yarder to win it.
The man has a leg.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if he doesn't already, he needs to go get those legs insured.
Well, he's not the highest paid kicker for a reason.
Yeah.
He's showing his money. All right, we got 2 more games to recap real quick, and then we can jump into fantasy. I know Rodney's biting at the bits because he is Raiders Nation, and he kicked my ass this week. But Sunday Night Football,
I barely pulled it off.
Yeah, you're still tuning up.
That I am. A win's a win.
Chicago at Houston, which I watched this game, and I will say this, there was a lot of Chicago fans that traveled to Houston for this.
Oh, yeah.
If you watched the broadcast, you heard them in the crowd.
I will say this about the Chicago fan base. They are some of the most loyal fans out there. With the amount of crap that they've been through over the last few seasons, the ones that you still have, those are the loyal ones. Yep.
But Caleb Williams struggled a little bit, 23 of 37, 174, 2 INTs, 5 attempts for 44 yards, and a shitload of hits, and I think he got sacked 7 times.
Golly.
Caleb nervous. Well, I would look nervous too. You have no offensive line protecting you. You got to do what you got to do to protect yourself.
Yep.
DeAndre Swift, who they brought over from Philly, hasn't really done much the first 2 games. Only 14 rushes for 18 yards, 4 catches for 24. Kylie Herbert had a 1-yard touchdown. Then DJ Moore, only 6 receptions for 53 yards. And Romeo Duze, their second first-round pick, 2 receptions for 33. Now, Mr. Knast, there's 2 Monday night games next week. Yes, there is, which I'm not a fan of. Monday Night Football used to be an honor for 2 teams to be picked to play on Monday Night Football, and now the fact that you're putting 2 Monday night games is just a mockery. It doesn't make sense. Especially if it's not your team, but that's okay. Tremaine Edwards, 11 tackles, 8 solo, 1 sack. Kevin Byard III, another one coming over from Philly, 11 tackles, 7 solo. TJ Edwards, another ex-Eagle. If Joe Galgo is in chat, he would tell you how much he loves this guy. He had 8 tackles, 7 solo. And then, if you ask me, this was a kicking matchup. You had Carlos Santos on the one side, 202, both over 50 yards, which he made both with ease. Then on the Houston side, CJ Stroud, 23 of 36, 261 touchdown. Cam Akers coming off an Achilles injury from last year, 7 attempts for 32 yards. Joe Mixon, 9 attempts for 25, but also had 3 catches for 25, so that's 50 yards total. You would like to see those numbers up a little bit. Nico Collins had himself a hell of a game this night.
That he did.
Like I said, I watched this game start to finish, and Nico Collins was everywhere. It was great. Got flagged for a penalty. Very next play, they went back and scored a 45-yard touchdown. It was great.
Well, that's how you make up for it.
Yeah. 8 receptions for 135, 1 touchdown. Stephon Diggs, 4 receptions for 37. Now, I like this name. Henry 20220. I butchered that. I'm sorry. 13 tackles, 1 sack. Jalen Peter, 10 tackles. Azir Al Shahir, who should have been thrown out of this game, but wasn't. Because they made a play, and it was after the fact, and the referees didn't put a flag on it because it happened out of bounds and behind the referee's back. He threw a punch.
Oh.
And they actually replayed it, and you can clearly see he threw a punch. But since the referee didn't see it, and it was a dead ball, technically they can't review it. So you can't go back and review it. So he'll probably get a fine.
Yeah, he can still get a fine. They just fined there was somebody else that they just fined for something.
I think his name goes like Petrie. That sounds about right, Petrie. Thank you, Adi. Daniel Hunter, who they brought over from the Minnesota Vikings, and Will Anderson Jr. Yeah, I figured that's who you were talking about. You're good. A sack and a half. Will Anderson Jr. is going to be a beast. If you remember Mario Williams back in the day with the Texans, Will Anderson Jr. has the potential to rival that.
We'll see.
And then, like I said, they had 7 sacks and 11 QB hits. And that doesn't even count for the hits that Caleb Williams suffered when he was running the ball.
Yeah. And that's a lot of hits for a QB. They're not used to taking that many hits.
No. And then Kai Fairbairn, 4 of 4 with 3 field goals over 50 yards. Okay, so in the Commanders and Giants game, Daniel Daniels got hit out of bounds by a Giants player, but they didn't throw a flag. Well, they allowed that boundary. I mean, if he was on the boundary, it's a tough no call. I would have to go back and look at it to see if it was a flag or not. So, unfortunately, I can't do that right now, Troy. But let me review it, and I will message you, and we can talk about it. But no, probably the fact was he might have just been stepping out of bounds when it happened. So, I mean, he might have still technically been in balance. Like I said, I didn't see it. So, I don't want to go too much into it, but I will look it up. And I can message you about it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes with those because a lot of times it's one of those bang split second plays that he may have been out of bounds, but he may have also been in the process of the tackle and at that point of no return, and maybe the ref determined that hey, he couldn't stop it, and it happened.
That is true. In the last game, I'm not going to say too much. We're just gonna leave this on the screen, and whoever wants to bash me for it, have fun.
Well, I will say this: I saw a little bit of that, and I will have to say I was rooting for Shaquan, and it was Shaquan that he really helped me out. But I can't lie, I was really hoping that Shaquan would have a good night, but the Eagles would lose. As a Cowboy fan, I always have to root against the Eagles. It's in the bylaws of being a Cowboys fan. So, but this was a back and forth game. I was keeping track of the game for fantasy reasons, but this was definitely a back and forth game, and I think that I was actually surprised that the Falcons gave the Eagles so much trouble. It definitely wasn't what I was expecting.
Well, if my friend Miz was still in chat, because Miz was in earlier. the biggest question we were trying to answer when we first started the show, and it's been this way for the last 2 years. Where the hell is the Eagles pass rush?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're supposed to have one of the most dominant front fours in football. You just went and paid $17 million to bring in a pass rusher who in 2 games has no pass rush.
I don't know. It's like
I know.
the Falcons should not have given the Eagles this much trouble.
No.
They really shouldn't have.
No.
And so I think the Eagles are they're gonna spend this week looking at that game film and going, "What did we do wrong? We need to figure this out."
Yeah. There's one word to sum up this. There's one word that can sum up this game. Ready? Listen closely.
Oh shit!
See, here's the question. Which loss would you rather have? This loss, 22-21, or the Cowboys loss to the Saints of 44-19?
As honestly as it truly sounds, I'd rather get my ass kicked so I can turn the game off and go do something else than staying up till 12 o'clock at night and losing in the last minute.
Yeah, I would agree. I would much rather sit there and watch, just be blown out going, yeah, there was no hope, than, like you said, staying up until all hours of the night going, come on, you got that, you mother.
Yep.
So I would much rather take that 1 point win.
Yeah, and Rodney's spot on. We're missing Hassan Reddick. Howie should have paid him. That's true. And Falcons are going to get destroyed by the Chiefs this weekend. I wouldn't be so sure.
It depends. Which Falcons team are we going to see? I feel like Falcons are going to be one of those teams that it's going to be hit or miss every week, unless they can prove to be consistent. Because let's face it, the Eagles are a dominant team. They're up there, top 5, in my opinion, of top 5 favorites to make it to the Super Bowl. But not if they play like last night.
Yeah.
Or the other night.
I'm just waiting to see if Grim's still on chat, because I know he's sitting there in his chair. He's either listening or watching, and he's laughing because he called this. He said the Falcons were going to come into Philly and beat them. And he was right.
One thing the Falcons did prove is Philly can be beat.
Well, that, and I'll just say one thing watching this game start to finish, our defense was nowhere to be found. Plain and simple.
Hopefully over the next week they find it.
Yeah, but Kirk Cousins was 20-29, 241, 2 touchdowns. Bijan Robinson, 14 carries for 97, 4 catches for 25. Tyler Algo, 9 receptions, 53. 9 rushes for 53, 1 catch for 12. Daryl Mooney, who should have a lot more than this, 3 receptions for 88 yards, 1 touchdown. Drake London, 6 receptions for 54 in the game-winning touchdown. Ray McLeod, 3 receptions for 42 yards. Jesse Bates, who almost came to Philly a couple years back, 12 tackles, 7 solo with a game-winning INT. Caden Ellis, 11 tackles, and Matthew Judon, who he got from the Patriots, with 6 tackles and 1 sack. Now on my side, I should say, Jalen Hurts, 23 of 30. I think they will. Vic Fangio is one of the best coordinators. Just have a young defense now, so it takes time. I hope you're right. I truly do. I truly wholeheartedly hope you're right, Rodney.
Only time will tell.
It's going to be a very long season.
Only time will tell.
Yeah, but Jalen Hurts, 23 of 30, 183, 1 touchdown, 1 INT, 13 rushes for 85 yards. So he did have a nice game running the ball. He made a lot of good reads when he had to. Also had a rushing touchdown. Saquon, 22 carries, 95 yards, 4.5 receptions. See if anyone catches the half. Because he should have had that 4th down one that cost him the game for 21 yards. We didn't have A.J. Brown, so Devontae led the way. 7 receptions for 76 yards and a touchdown. Dallas Goedert, 3 receptions for 38. And yes, you're reading that right. Britton Covey, 6 receptions for 23 yards. Now, why that irritates me in a new sense Because A, you went out and just got Jihad Dotson. Mr. Knast, have a good night. See you tomorrow. See you, Troy. You went out and got Jihad Dotson. But you gave up a third-round pick. In 2 games, my man has 1 reception on 4 targets. Yes, he's still learning the offense. I will give him that. You bring in somebody like Paris Campbell for this instance, not even dressed, inactive, or didn't play at all. You have another rookie, Johnny Wilson, 6'6". Oh, he's going to be a goal line threat. 1 target all game. Britton Covey is your punt returner. Why is your punt returner your second leading receiver on a Monday night game? You're telling me that's the best option you can do is have your punt returner with 6 catches for 23 yards? That's an average of 3.9 yards reception? Give me a fucking break.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry my language, but geez, it's just irritating. Reed Blankenship, who is starting to be a Bobby Taylor, can't cover. 10 tackles. Zach Bond, who we got from the Saints, 9 tackles. And Jacoby Dean, 7 tackles and 5 solo. And we did have 1 sack, a nice play made by Milton Williams. Other than that, the defense was a fucking atrocious. And I had said earlier, if New Orleans can go into Dallas and put 44 on your defense, what are they going to do at home against Philly?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the O coordinator has to scheme better for those players. That's crazy. And that's why I bring you into the mix, Mr. Simmons. What are you not telling me about Kellen Moore?
What else is there? I thought he was an open book. I mean, look at the man.
Like he seemed like he was the greatest thing with you in Dallas.
Yeah.
Then you go to the Chargers struggles for you, jump to Philly. Everyone has the high hopes because it's one of the most explosive offenses he's ever had. And you're telling me you can't ground and pound 3 yards? You gotta try to do a swing pass?
You have to realize though, this is also a man who had one of the best offenses in the league. On paper, a couple of years ago, Dallas had one of the best offenses that you could possibly ask for.
It's just
and couldn't make it past the first round of the playoffs. So, I mean,
I said this today. Jeff and Howie runs the team and not the coaches. That is true, Benny. You might have a point. Now, I will say this. I mean, I'm going to hear a lot of heat from people who know me as an Eagles fan as much as I do. I would not be surprised, let alone what's another word besides for surprise. I'd be lying to you if I don't see the Eagles 1-3 at the bye week. Because they play in New Orleans and at Tampa Bay. And both their teams are playing damn good.
Mm-hmm.
So I would not be shocked if we were 1-3 going into a bye week.
Dallas is looking at a possibility of being 3-3 going into their week 7 bye.
It's just baffling.
I mean, unless they can pick it up, which I think this week for both teams, for Dallas and Philly, there's a lot of lessons to be learned here. It's the beginning of the season, and I'd much rather have losses like these at the beginning of the season than at the end.
True.
Get them out of the way, learn from them, move on. And I think for both of these teams, what's going to determine their success in the future is how well they can go, you know what? We lost. Let's learn, move on. Forget about it, move on.
That's true. That Ravens vs. Dallas is going to be a crazy one to watch. I agree. Because Baltimore's in desperation mode too.
Yeah.
Baltimore being 0-2, they're in desperation.
And they're playing in Baltimore, aren't they?
I think so. I have to look. All right. Now they're playing
in Dallas. They're playing in Dallas.
In Dallas, okay.
Yeah. So and with we'll get to that in a second. Because it's fantasy talk. So
Alan's saying Ravens win. You never know.
We'll see.
All right, now the fun part. Mr. Rodney, this is where Mr. Rodney gets to have his fun.
Let's see. I got about 15 minutes, or no, about 10 minutes before I need to head out. Got a few things left to do tonight. So,
first matchup, we have Team Basement Show versus Raider Nation. Go ahead, Bonnie. Give me your shit. Come on. Come on. I'm waiting just for the chat to flood.
You get 2 minutes to say whatever you want, and after that.
But Trevor Lawrence, who is no longer on my team, I will say that. He was projected 41, only got me 28. My wide receivers shut the bed, only 11 points combined. My running backs, as you can tell, phenomenal. 15 from Robinson, 19 from Connor, 28 from Archain as my flex. There's my team right there.
Yeah, your running backs and your flex, your tight end and your flex. They saved your week.
Yep. George Kittle 20, Harrison Buckner 10, and the Chargers defense, who I picked up for specifically facing Carolina, 11 points. Wow, talk about a blowout. That's a championship team right there. Hello, Miss Spawn, Miss Stephanie. Bonnie, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you your number one kudos right now. You ready for it? You ready?
Yeah.
There's your championship right there, buddy. I'm angry tonight, can't you tell?
Just a little.
Let's see. Aaron Rodgers, 37 points. Tyreek Hill, 6 points. So, my number one wide receiver did more than yours. Devontae Adams, 26 points. Again, probably his best game in Vegas. James Cook, 31. Alvin Kamara
just went off.
Put him over the top.
The Dallas defense could not do anything to stop Alvin Kamara.
No.
Alvin Kamara said, I'm going to do this. Let's go. Ain't nothing going to stop me. And he went.
He is sitting here cracking up. Good. Laugh it up, Chuckles. Come on. He's laughing too hard he can't talk. None's going to throw zingers at him. Who's won a Super Bowl more recently? Huh? When was the last time you won a fantasy championship, sir? Who went 15-2 last year? I'm 0-2 now, so I got a 15-game winning streak coming. Shit's about to get real.
You wish.
But Brock Bowers, who I actually really do like, I have him in my other league. He had 18 points. Rashad White, see, 2 points. What's that? You might as well just put a 0 right there. Carlos Santos, 11, and San Fran's defense, 8.
Yeah, put a 0 there, you still lose, John.
Who invited this guy on my show?
You.
But Brock Bowers, best tight end in the league as a rookie. I know, but I got to wait in my other league. I was like, shit. I think yours is next, Sam. Yep, Rough Riders. I'll let you cover your own team. Have fun.
Okay, I've got to say that I got Tua getting hurt really hurt me. And I've put him on my IR. Picked somebody else up. I can't remember. I picked somebody else up. I didn't pick up another quarterback yet. I need to pick up another one, but see if somebody dropped one. But Tua getting injured, that really hurt me. He only got me 23 of those 44 points. He was doing decent until he got hurt. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 22 out of the projected 18, so not bad. Cooper Kupp did not and has not been up to par, but he's injured. He's also on my IR.
Yep, I was going to say he's out for a couple weeks. Mr. Campbell, how are you doing, sir?
Then we have Devin Singletary. Got me 14 points. Saquon Barkley, he's the one who saved the day. Monday night, once again, I was rooting for him, but not the Eagles, and I got my wish. Got me 17 points, which is what put me over the top. Which is what put me over the top to beat Tyler. Kyle Pitts got me 5. Chris Goodwin had a great game. Got me 28 points. Cameron Dicker the kicker out of UT. Got me 9 points. And the Dallas defense shit the bed. And got me a single point. Over there on Tyler's standout team, he had 116. Baker Mayfield got him 36. Ayuk only got him 8, but that's twice as much as he was projected. Tank Dell got 2. Derrick Henry got 16. Zach Charbonnet?
Yep.
Got 17. Sam Laporta got 3. Terry McLaurin, 8. Justin Tucker, like he usually does, I think he's probably next to Harrison Butker, he's probably the highest scoring kicker.
Probably.
Just because of it, again, like Harrison Butker, because of his leg and the range that man has. So, and then the Pittsburgh defense showed up, got him 13 points.
Well, they were playing Denver. But I just actually thought of something because it's funny in the sense. How everyone calls Dicker the kicker, right?
Oh, yeah. They've been calling him that since he was at UT.
Can you call Tucker the kicker, too?
You might.
Yeah,
I don't know. Dicker the kicker, it has that ring to it.
It does.
And he got that nickname after a red rivalry shootout where he kicked the game-winning field goal against Oklahoma, I believe.
Yep. And if my friend,
that's where you got it.
Well, I'm going to piss somebody off if they're still in chat, too. Dom, if you're listening, Cameron Dicker is the one that the Eagles had the one game because Jake Elliott was out. He went in Arizona and beat your Cardinals. How do you like that shit? Because who was the kicker? Oh, yeah, that's right. Matt Amendola. Can't kick indoors. He shanks kicks to the right. Indoors. He's like, I don't want to talk about it. But
I got one more game.
Okay. Well, it made me laugh about your team real quick before we move over to the next one. So you rooting for Saquon Barkley, who is the Eagles running back.
Yep.
Right? But then you also draft Devin Singletary, who took over for Saquon in New York.
Well, because here's my thinking. With Devin Singletary, New York doesn't have a quarterback.
No.
So who are they going to rely on?
Yeah, true.
So he's going to get the touches, and he's
proven
worthy.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's funny that you went from one New York Giant running back to the current day one. But Vinny, if you're in chat, now's your time to shine.
Vinny's perfect team versus the Honeymooners.
Which is my cousins Kelsey and Chris out in Colorado. Pat Mahomes, 38. Marvin Harrison Jr., 33. Mr. Vinny. A much better than his 1 point performance week 1. Michael Pittman Jr., 5. Aaron Jones, 9. Tony Pollard, 15. Mark Andrews, 9. My late neighbors were 28. Young Hoku, I love that name. Young Hoku, 10. And the Jets defense was 11. So pretty well balanced. I mean, Michael Pittman Jr. needs to step up his game for him, I feel. But
yeah, Pittman's one of those. I think he's gonna definitely have his weeks, but I think he's gonna be hit or miss.
And then over on the Honeymooners, Joe Burrow, 45. Jacoby Myers, we had 6. Jamar Chase, 7. Josh Jacobs, even though we don't give points for rushing attempts. Miss Kelsey, good evening. We are actually talking about you and Mr. Chris's team right now because it's in chat. Perfect timing. Just think about it. If we gave style points for the amount of rushes attempts per game, Josh Jacobs has 32 rushes this past Sunday. That's a lot of carries. David Montgomery, 16. Dallas Goedert, 6. Keenan Allen was a late scratch. Unfortunately, they probably didn't have the time to take him out of the lineup. He got him 0. Evan McPherson, 15. Who's another really good kicker for Cincinnati, too. I like him a lot. And then Kansas. Huh?
McPherson?
Yes. And then Kansas City's defense got him at 11.
Allowed 26 points. But
just wanted to pop on and say hi. Hope you're having a great day. You as well, cuz. Always good to see you in chat.
But
are you leaving me, sir?
That is going to have to wrap it up for me. Me and the wife still have a few things to do.
Well, before you leave, just one word of wisdom going forward for week 3.
What? One word? I'm only allowed one word?
Yep.
I'm gonna have to go too. Good luck.
And I'm gonna send you off with this against your Baltimore Ravens because I don't know how to say more than one word because it's my show. How about the Cowboys?
All right.
As always, Sam, it's a pleasure to have you join the show. Hope to see you again
As always,
soon.
it is.
Tell Mariah I said thank you for letting me have you for a little bit. Maybe I'll bring her on. She can talk some football next time too.
That ain't happening. She doesn't talk sports ball.
Ew, sports. Ew. Oh my god. Ew.
But, Doug, you have a great night, and I will talk to you later.
Sounds good.
Have a good night, guys.
Always love talking to that man about sports. He is very knowledgeable when it comes to games. Yes, he is a Cowboys fan, but he knows the whole entire NFL like I do. Sam is awesome. So he also sometimes streams. You can find him on Twitch at G63 Gaming, which is awesome to do. But moving forward, we have Monsters of the Midway, Mr. Curtis, having another tough week, but he also did face the best team in the week in the fantasy league this week. But he even had more points than you did, sir. No, is that true? Or? Wait a minute, hold on. Nope, you beat him by a point. Never mind, I'm wrong. But Curtis had Caleb Williams 29, Devontae Smith 20, Stephon Diggs 7, Isaiah Pacheco, which you do see at asterisk 16, Jalen Wright, who is supposed to have some productivity since most didn't play, had a 0. Travis Kelce only 1. DeAndre Hopkins only 1. Chris Boswell 9. Chicago's defense gave him 6, which in a losing effort is actually pretty damn good. And over on Chris's team, damn. Kyler Murray 54. Deebo Samuel 18. DK 32. That's a lot for a wide receiver. Kyler Williams 14. Brian Robinson 16. Taysom Hill. I'm not sold on Taysom Hill anymore. I'm over him. And yeah, 2. Zay Flowers 22. Jason Myers 10. Houston 15. So one word to sum this up: ass kicking. Moving on to the next one. Mary had a CD Lamb, which is my friend Joe Gallagher, 152 to TJ's 143. So probably one of our close matchups of the week. Josh Allen really underperformed, only 24. Nico Collins 27. Calvin Ridley gave him 28. So right there, that's 55 points between two wide receivers, which is an awesome stat total for two wide receivers. Jonathan Taylor 15. Teddy John Spears 5. Trey McBride 12. Brian Thompson 13. Kai Fairbairn, thanks to his 3 50-yard field goals, 20, which again for a kicker is a lot of points. Detroit's defense got him 6. Then over on the other side, Brock Purdy 43. CeeDee Lamb 23. Drake London 17. So 40 points between wide receivers is a great night. Johnny Gibbs 17. If he would have changed this, he probably would have won. Mostert was inactive, so he got 0. Dalton Kincaid 7. Chris Overlay 12. Brandon Aubrey, the kicker from Dallas, 17. And then Baltimore's defense 7. So, I mean, just one minor tweak in that roster, and TJ walking out with the win, I feel. Then the last one, we have Team Miz versus Mike. Stroud 39, Garrett Wilson 9, Waddle 8, Bryce Hall 24, Joe Mixon 7, Isaiah Likely. Everybody was highly anticipating a repeat of week 1. Major letdown, only 4. Rashid Weiss, 22. Jake Moody, 5. And Dallas did get him a point because of the 1 sack. Boo. And on the other side, Mike had Jalen Hurts, 48. Justin Jefferson, 27. DJ Moore, 11. Etienne, 14. Jordan Mason, who has taken over for Christian McCaffrey right now, with 17. Kobe Parkinson, who is a tight end from the Rams. Never heard of him. Only 2. Amari Cooper, only 4. Jake Elliott had 7. And Buffalo's defense gave him 16. Which, 16 points in our league is a lot of points for a defense. So after week 2, here's our top free agencies in our league. Sam Darnold league is 84 because I picked up Derek Carr, so he is the top quarterback option. He's playing Houston. Gardner Minshew, 82. So Rodney, if you're still here, you can go get your Las Vegas quarterback if you need one. They're playing Carolina this weekend, which could be a very favorable matchup. Deshaun Watson for the Cleveland, 73. They're playing the Giants. And then on running back, you have Madison, Hill, Jamal Williams, all with a couple good favorable matchups. Wide receiver, Josh Reynolds. I'm going to go look into that, okay? I mean, he's there, and I mean, playing Carolina could have a big game, so. Wide receiver, Josh Reynolds, Jaron Naylor, and Wendell Robinson. Again, besides for Reynolds, Vikings and Giants, maybe. Tight end, yeah, Zach Ertz, Chick Ogawa, Foster Moreau. Tight ends hit or miss. We all know that. On kickers, you have Chris Boswell and Blake Group. And then defensively, you have the Saints defense playing Philly at home. Could be something to look into. And then the Green Bay Packers. So that's our top free agents after week 2. If you guys can't tell already, I do a lot of work for this show. So I hope you guys all enjoy it. Here are up-to-date standings. Now the top 6 make playoffs based off overall record. And tiebreaker is total points. And at the end of the season, the top 2 teams will get first-round byes. So I know we are way off in the playoffs, but this is something I wanted to do every week. So right now we have a 3-way tie with 3 2-0 teams. You have the Rough Riders, who is Mr. Sam, Chris's quality team, which is my friend Chris, and Mary had a CD Lamb, which is my friend Joe Gallagher. They were all 2-0, but based off points, the Rough Riders would be first with 313, Chris 309, Joe 303. Raider Nation, Mr. Rodney, who has been hanging out with us in chat all night, is 1-1 with 335 points, which is pretty damn good, sir. Team Miz, 1-1, 285. Mike W, 1-1, 259. Vinny, right outside the top 6 at 7th, also 1-1, 240. Tyler's standout team, 1-1. And now us basement dwellers in the basement. Myself, Mr. Knast, I am 0-2. But I have 296 points. Which would be what? The 5th highest point total so far? My problem is I faced the 2 highest scores in the league the first 2 weeks of the season. I'm getting shafted. Then you got TJ's Remarkable Team, 0-2, the Honeymooners, and the Monsters of the Midway. But this is still way too early to determine who's going to make the playoffs, who's not. I'm hoping to bounce back and get a win. It'd be nice. Our week 3 matchups, we have bad matchups. That's all it is. I've been hitting the stone wall when it comes to the matchups. You and Sam, the first 2 weeks, my 2 matchups, I'm 0-2. But if you look at it, you guys have put up the most points those 2 weeks. So pity me. But that's all right. I'm going to get back on the win train this week when I face Mike. Sam faces Vinny. Chris faces Chris. Hey, the Chris versus Chris. I like that. Monsters in the Midway faces TJ. So one of those 2 teams should get their first win this week. Who will it be? Team Miz versus Joe Gallagher, which should be a good one. And Mr. Rodney faces Tyler's standout team. Okay, 1 more second. Sorry about that. So that those are week 3 matchups in our fantasy football league. Couple key matchups I had picked out for this week. You have the Eagles at the Saints. Can Philly bounce back defensively, or are the Saints going to continue to march on to 3-0? As the Saints are clicking on all cylinders right now. I mean, I thought that was pretty cute. The Saints go marching one by one. Hurrah! Hurrah! I thought that was kind of cute. Then you had the Houston Texans at the Minnesota Vikings, whose offense has enough to carry their team to a 3-0 start. Will Justin Jefferson be 100% for Minnesota? I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Saints neither, sir. The way the Eagles played the last week, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, he's picking the 4. So, I mean, so Saints, Minnesota, Pitt, Ravens, okay. If you're looking in chat, you want to pick these 4 games, I'm not counting them up, but if you want to put who you're rooting for, be my guest. But something I'm trying to do every week is just do a couple key matchups here and there. With this. But that Houston Minnesota game should be very good. But like I said, will Justin Jefferson be 100%? Because he did suffer a minor ankle injury. I would agree with him, except Minnesota. I got Texans for that one. Okay. I mean, no, these 4 games can go either way. And then the Chargers coming to Pittsburgh. Can J.K. Dobbins keep his 100-yard per game streak going against a tough Pittsburgh defense? And who goes 3-0? Because again, both those teams are also 2-0. So we'll see. And then the last one, Baltimore at Dallas. Can Dallas bounce back after giving up 49 points last week? And the Ravens finally put one in the W column. Give me whoever is playing the 49ers. Let's see. I'll tell you 1 second, Minnie. Hold on. Let's see. San Francisco. They are playing the Rams. So I mean, that's actually kind of interesting. And if my friend Dominic's still in chat, Arizona has the Detroit Lions. Another very interesting matchup. Yeah, I would take the Niners over the Rams too, just based off the injuries. But we shall see. I am a Rams fan for this week. There we go. And he's saying the Lions over Arizona. Okay. I mean, as much as I would love to do a full NFL pick'em, with how much I do for the show as it is, it'd be really hard to do. And then Rodney's asking this, so I'll pull this up so my friends over on YouTube can see. Panthers, Raiders, who you all got? Sir, knock your shit off. I don't want to hear it. I will laugh. And Rodney, I'll make you a deal. No, I'm going to make you suffer. Okay? Rodney, listen closely. If Carolina beats the Raiders, you're my guest next week. Everyone who's watching, there's 5 people right now. If the Carolina Panthers beat the Las Vegas Raiders, Rodney Ortiz will be on this show next week. And he will come face to face with the rest of the NFL chat. And will tell everybody that he was wrong. There is your challenge, Mr. Ortiz. Root for your team. But when Carolina beats you this week with Andy Dalton as their quarterback, you will be on this show next week admitting that you were wrong. If I'm off work, yes, I will join. There we have. Grim, take a picture of that for me. If I am off from work, I will join. I need a screenshot of that, sir. That way, when the Panthers beat him next week, he can't go running. I never said that. I'm kidding. Don't take it to heart, buddy. But so I mean, like I said, if I had a full-time host on this show, I would do an NFL pick'em, and we would do every single game. But being a single host, doing as much as I do for this show, doing a full pick'em would just be way too hard. So I apologize in advance. Then the last one I have is my NFL news slot for the thing. We all know Miami lost their quarterback tour to another concussion. He has been placed on IR, so he will be out at least 4 weeks. I thought, man, we should not lose. We are at home against the worst team in the NFL. We just beat Baltimore and they're home. I would be so mad. I would be mad for you. I would be fucking furious. I would, Ronnie, if the Raiders lose to the Panthers at home, if I'm you, I'm finding a new team to root for. I would just say, okay, I'm done being a Raiders fan. And as the commissioner of the league, I might have to go in and change your team to Panthers Nation instead of the Raiders Nation. Oh, that's a light bulb. Oh, he might be in trouble. I can change his team name. Oh, oh, that's an evil one. I'll leave it alone, but but Tua is going to be out at least 4 weeks as he recovers from yet another concussion. Isaiah Pacheco for the Chiefs has been placed on IR. He will be out at least 6 to 8 weeks with the fractured fibula. But they did go out this week and sign Kareem Hunt to the practice squad. I mean, that could be a sneaky good pickup. Kareem Hunt knows that offense. Just keep an eye on that one. Rams Cooper Kupp suffered an ankle injury versus Arizona, expected to miss a couple weeks. He has also been placed on IR. Christian McCaffrey has been placed on IR with the calf injury, but is also arthritis, they're saying. So he'll be reevaluated in mid-October. Sorry, Vinny, had to. AJ Brown, who was inactive for Monday night with hamstring tightness, could also be out for a couple weeks, but they have yet to put him on IR. So hopefully it's only one more game, if that. Panthers in 2022 first overall pick, Bryce Young benched. Randy Dalton, we'll just talk about that right now. And Deebo Samuel Sr., not Jr., is expected to miss a couple of games after suffering a calf injury late versus Minnesota. And for defensive player new, Tampa Bay defensive attacker Villa is dealing with a grade 2 MCL sprain, which is one of the key ligaments in the knee. But he is going to try to play through it. So we shall see how that plays out. But as always, that is all I have my slideshow for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a lot of work, but like I said, it is fun to put it together for you guys. It is a lot of work, but when it boils down to it, when I talk about football, I absolutely love it. Everyone who knows me knows how much I love football. Football is a passion of mine. So I am honored to be able to bring an NFL show here to the Basement Show. Even if you don't like sports, you stop in, you show some support. It is awesome as well. So, I mean, look at that. 2.5 hours. Good show, sir. Thank you. Not over yet. We still have to do a full rundown, but I got to figure out some way to get these shows down a little bit. But after next week? 2 more weeks of a 30-slide slideshow. Then it'll be less and less a little bit every week because that's when bye weeks go into effect. So you're probably looking maybe a 24, 25 slideshow. But that's here or there. Like I said, as long as there's football, I'll have something to talk about. And it's awesome. Like I said, I feel like this show is a hit. I mean, the numbers may not always be there, but it's just a way for guys to get together and talk. I mean, everyone had always said they wanted another sports show here on the Basement Show, and honestly, football is probably the most popular sport, even though we are going into the postseason, baseball, and all of that. But like football, you have so much you can cover. You can do recaps, you can talk fantasy sports, injuries, stuff like that. I mean, and this is only just the beginning. It's only second week of the season. We have 17 more weeks to go, plus playoffs and then the Super Bowl. So there's plenty more to come with this show and so forth. But real quick, I am going to start wrapping this up. So we are going to run a couple commercials back to back to back that will help me with my closeout. And the first one that I am going to run is our Suicide and Crisis one that is very meaning dearful to the Basement Show this month and next month. But anytime, as you see scrolling across the bottom, is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline 988. There's somebody there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You're there if you need anybody, if you need something crisis, if you need someone to talk to, they are there for you. Or if it's a reasonable time of the day, you can reach out to any one of us here at the Basement Show, and we will be there for you in your time of need. Because we'd much rather have you here in chat with us than reading something about a tragic loss. So don't be afraid. There's ways to reach out for help. We're here. The Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here. But real quick, we're going to run a quick commercial that goes a little bit more in depth with it. So please don't go anywhere. I will be right back. That is a suicide awareness commercial. So, again, if you need anybody, any time of the day, they are there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So, I put in a couple tabs real quick. But they are there, and you are not alone. We always say that here at the Basement Show, you are not alone. Any time of day, we are here for you. So please know that. We love all of you and so forth. Because you have to make sure you do something to prevent something before it's too late. I know I've had a rough past in my life. A lot of people who are in the Basement Show have had a rough past, but we use this show as an outlet to help those in need get the help they need when they need it. So the next one I am going to run is our show lineup. You will also see it scrolling across the bottom of your screen. We are live Monday through Friday. There's a show Monday through Friday, usually 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. No later than 9 o'clock unless it's a very special show. That, and we sometimes have pop-up shows. So you never know what to expect, when to expect. So real quick, let me run this and I will be right back.
Soul to me for eternity. Release your life to begin another time with her. And
And there you have it. That is our show lineup. As I am starting to notice, I am buckling a lot more. I don't know why it happens, but we're going to push through it. So we have a little bit left here on the show to do. So I appreciate everyone hanging out with me. We got one more quick motion to do. Hopefully I can get through it. Okay, I'm not missing any in chat. And that is our Holmes Customs. Now, Holmes Customs was a business started by Mr. and Mrs. Rev Grimm to help honor my niece and nephew, AJ and Hope, who unfortunately lost their lives last May in a fire. But Holmes Customs has opened up a whole new avenue for them. You can get custom tumblers, t-shirts, hoodies. You can get basement show merch. You can get anything you want done over at Holmes Customs. And they always say, if you can dream it, we can make it. You can find Holmes Customs on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. So real quick, I am going to run this commercial, and I will be right back. And Holmes Customs, and I have been joined over on the Twitch side by Mr. Darth Nexus. How are you doing, sir? Hope you had a great rest of your stream. Anyone who knows Darth is family here at the Basement Show. He helped with Turnbuckle Thursdays. He was on Video Game Mania back in the day. All around great guy. Go over to the Twitch brand and drop him a follow. He's awesome if you like Call of Duty, Fortnite. Or if you just want to laugh, he'll make you laugh all night too. As the type of person Darth is, he is, like I said, family. So go join the Nexus Nation and let them know that the Basement Show sent you. So, I mean, other than that, moving right along with our closeout. We did the Holmes Customs, we did the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, we did the show lineup. Ooh, excuse me. As always, you can find the Basement Show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. If you want to join our Discord, send me or anyone a message. We can get you a link. Or you can follow us on TikTok. And TikTok is just used for promotional purposes only. I just put up the reels for the shows on there so that they can get out. There's another platform to help promote the show and so forth. So be sure to check all the platforms out. If you like YouTube or you like Twitch better, I mean, there's a platform for everyone. And making Mr. Knast's life hell. That is true. Darth is very good at doing that as well. I forgot about that. You know how they always say that you have a thorn stuck in your side? Darth is that thorn. You get that little needle that leaves just the tiniest of pricks. That's Darth. The little bit of gray hair that you get sometimes late at night. You find that little gray hair poking through. That's from Darth. I'm kidding, Darth. You know that. But, yeah, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. And if you would like to join our Discord, send me or any one of the hosts a message. We can get you linked up in that as well. Coming soon. I know I've been saying that for a while now, but hopefully coming soon is thebasementshowlive.com. What is the holdup with this? We were trying to find a website that we can still do our shows live and we can have our chat, because our chat is the most important thing about these shows, and we need to find a site that will allow us to have a chat log as we're doing these shows so we can interact with everyone as they're watching the shows. I'm the rat of the gray hair. There you go. Okay. I'm saying he's the rat of the gray hair. Fair enough. But yes, coming soon. Hopefully we will have the basementshowlive.com coming soon. Just a couple of little small things I'm still looking for before I sign up for any type of website. Streamlabs, rest. Yeah, I have looked at possible StreamYard. Streamlabs, I gotta talk to the crew because apparently StreamYard is going nuts. I mean, from what I read today, a lot of people aren't happy with it, but I won't go into too much antics on that. That's something I will have to talk to Grim off to decide about, and we will address it when we need to. But for now, we will stick with what we're doing. It seems to be working. We'll go from there. All right, now the big one. October 6th, we are doing the Out of the Dark Greater Suicide Walk over in Philadelphia in Fairmount Park. And we were asking for you guys to help us with donations. If you'd like to make a donation, you can donate on PayPal at The Basement Show. And there are some incentives with these donations. Now, if you're on Twitch, don't listen to Darth. But that's besides the point. One we don't have made yet. I will put that together for tomorrow night. If you donate $30, or you want to donate $30, we will make you a customized shirt for the walk. It'll be some type of suicide awareness shirt that Miss Grimm is designing for it. That will be a simple $30 donation for the t-shirt. That's an easy one. Fuck you and your tramp stamp, sir. I swear he's going to kill me. But the higher we go, the more funnier they get, besides what Darth's saying. If we raise $400, the ladies will have to do the underwear in the freezer challenge. What this is you stick a pair of ladies' underwear in the freezer, and after 24 hours, they take it out, and they got to put it on. However, you won't see them putting it on, because we will get in trouble. Grim, stop! Don't feed into his bullshit. But you won't see them putting it on, but you will see the facial reactions of them putting it on. And supposedly, from what Grim has told me, it is actually really quite funny. So that's if we raise $400. The next one on the list is $500. So you get the $400 and the $500. I will get my first ever piercing done in my life. Now, if this is all done by one person, they get full say on where the piercing goes and so forth. It has to be a respectful, tasteful piercing because I have to work with it in retail. So keep that in the back of your mind. But if it is done by a couple people, there will be a vote that takes place, and the highest vote total will get the placement. I am not doing the tax across my stomach neither. Shut up. Mama always said you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Childish. Bullshit. Alright, now the next tier up, 750. You get the underwear challenge, you get the piercing, and then you also get to help Grim pick a new tattoo. Again, if it's done collectively, we will take a vote. If one person wants to donate all of this, then they get say on everything. And they have full say. So that's 750. Again, has to be a respectable tattoo in a respectable place, so forth. Looks like I'm not saying anything anymore. No, you guys are fine. It's just, I'll be. Oh, God. Look, it's been a long night. I'm sorry. Okay? Say what you want. Go ahead. Blow the chat up. Have fun. Free range. I unban you. How about that? Now, $1,000, you get to pick one of the hosts from the Basement Show to hang out with for the day. If you pick one of the Grims, they come as a package deal because of medical reasons. So keep that in the back of your mind. I don't have anything nice to say. So I was busting your chops. Somebody pulled your panties out of maybe. That's possible, though. You never know. But $1,000, you get to pick one of us to hang out with for the day. Now, this will go to the highest bidder only. So keep that in the back of your mind. But you also get the other challenges as well. And the last big one, $1,500. Again, this prize will go to the highest bidder. And the highest bidder, if we raise $1,500, will get the entire Basement Show to themselves at a location of their choosing for the day. So you can have us at your parents' house, your house, or Kit and Caboodle. The whole show comes with us, and we do a show with you on it. So if you would like to invite your neighbors, your friends, so forth, you can invite whoever you want. You will be put on a banner. You will be put in an intro. You will be part of the show for the day. So that is, keep that in the back of your mind as well. And as Doris reading my Twitch feed right now, we are still coming up with more ideas every single day that you can help contribute. It all goes to a great cause. And that, again, so if I do the $1,500, I run the show for the day. You don't run the show. You are part of the show for the day. If you donate the $1,500, Doc, you come back and you are part of the show for the day, and we can do the show wherever you want, on whatever you want. Yes, I mean that's fun. I mean, you know how to run a show. I will actually, if you want, I will talk to him. If someone like you donates the $1,500, we will let you run the show because you've already been on the show. I will let you sit in the director's chair, and you can run the Basement Show for the day, any way you want. I'll allow that. See, there you go. Grim even said sold. So, Dorf, if you want to donate the $1,500 yourself, you are the director of the show for the day. We'll call it the Darth Nexus Special. Now he's being quiet. He's pondering his thoughts. So, I mean, plenty more to come with that. We love everyone here at the base. 3,500 Mr. Knast wrestles a female wrestler for 10 minutes. Hey, I'll take the 20-minute ass kicking. A female wrestler, shit. But we'll talk about that, Dorf. But love everyone. We appreciate everyone here that comes and supports the Basement Show, whether it's from afar, looks at our post, if you pop in a live show, you pop in chat. Like, you guys are all awesome. Can't thank you guys enough. The Basement Show with Dorf. There you go. That could get kind of scary. Thank you, sir. Go Birds. Absolutely, Gary. I'm leaving a comment out. I don't see what Dorf says about that, but that's kind of funny. But just love everyone. Appreciate everybody who stops in the shows. You guys are all awesome. And we can't do these shows without you. Oh, okay. He's firing this one back. Dust in the basement. That's a scary place, too. An epic podcast. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Now you're putting thoughts in his head, Grim. But tonight was awesome. We had a lot of different people in chat. We had Grim, Rodney with Cheese, my friend Vinny looking on YouTube, Miz. Grim says he likes it, Matt. You're good to go. Dust in the basement. There you go. Sold. But thank you to all who popped in chat. Like I said, Grim, my friend Vinny, Miz, Rodney, Dominic, Doris, Mama D was in Twitch. Sam, Mr. Simmons, thank you for jumping in the studio for a little bit. It's awesome. We're here to entertain all you guys on a nightly basis. And with your support, the show's going to go that much better. So thank you all for that. And the last one we were doing, we were going to get justice for these two kids. I know it. You know, my niece and nephew. So if you start seeing this hashtag around, please share it. Help it get out there. And that is hashtag justice for AJ and Hope. That is my niece and nephew who, like I said, unfortunately were killed in the fire last May, but they're never gone, they're never forgotten, always missed. And we were going to get justice for them in one way or another. So other than that, you guys have been awesome for the last almost 3 hours. Can't thank you guys enough. I will be back live tomorrow night for Expedition Night. So if you have any ideas for Expedition Night, maybe I can still Dust from his show for a little bit, and we can do that whole Dust in the basement type thing. I don't know. Damn right, absolutely. So those two kids deserve the justice they're going to get. Hands down. We're going to fight tooth and nail for that, sir. But that's all I pretty much got. Again, thank you to everyone hanging out with me. This has been week 2 of NFL Talk. On the week 3, starting tomorrow night with the Jets and the Patriots. And I will be back here next Wednesday, recapping NFL week 3. But other than that, we still have Expedition Night tomorrow night with myself. You never know what to expect on that. And then Friday night, you have round 2 of the Lives of Grimm. So stay tuned. 2 more awesome shows to end the week. But other than that, I am signing off for tonight. Have a wonderful evening. And good night.